Chapter 1509. Furthermore, none of them were below the heaven-opening realm, they were all ruthless characters. The moment the dragon race appeared, the large number of Saint Demon Kings guarding the area immediately went into action, and the demon race swarmed towards the demon race like a tidal wave. The dragon race was not afraid of battle, they revealed their true forms and met the battle head-on. Tens of thousands of dragons covered the sky, and dragon chi danced wildly. The experts from both sides erupted into an unprecedented battle outside the Heaven Calamity Fiend prison. You dragon race want to invade my race's territory? Stay here obediently. Just a few dragon venerables, and you want to stop my race's plan? You are courting death. Although I don't know how you know about my race, you want to stop my desolate land's demon race with just these repulsive people? You are dreaming. Rumble. Demonic aura descended from the sky like a comet, suffocating everyone. In the void, 3 figures walked out slowly with their arms crossed. 2 pitch-black demon talismans were engraved on their foreheads, emitting a brilliant demonic aura. F***CK, there are 3 demon venerables, and 2 of them are Sky Red and Earth Fiend. Lin Chen's pupils constricted. Fortunately, he did not get carried away just now, or else he would not even know how he died. In the dragon race's camp, 3 men wearing purple-gold dragon robes had solemn expressions. Sky Red, Earth Fiend, I did not expect them to come as well. Only 2 rank 2 Dragon Kings would be able to suppress these 2 fellows when they join hands. I wonder if the humans will believe our secret report, or else we will not be able to stop these fellows today. On the dragon race's side, just as they finished speaking, on the other side, many figures began to appear in the blue galaxy. If they are not enough, how about adding us? Ha 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 ha. Are these the demon venerables of the desolate land's demon race? Interesting, I have not fought with you for many years. Come, let this old man see how much you have improved. This is the first time in history that we are so close to the demon race's territory. This group of figures was shrouded in holy light, an array of holy light shone brightly, illuminating the entire galaxy. There were old and young people among these people, and their auras were extraordinary. Once they appeared, they seemed to occupy the backbone of heaven and earth, and formed a holy aura that was on par with the demon race's army. F***CK. Is this for real? Lin Chen's eyes widened and he almost cried out. This was too unreal. How could there be humans in this damned place? Especially when Lin Chen activated his psychic perception and focused on the group of humans. Among them, there were 4 First Revolution sages. The leader was a red-haired old man whose entire body was burning with red lotus flames. He was actually a Second Revolution sage. In addition, there were 30 veteran heaven-opening realm cultivators and more than 300 youths. What a fellow! Every single one of these fellows are a few levels stronger than the Zhao clan's Zhao Mingyu. Lin Chen's pupils trembled. He was almost certain that these people were most likely the big shots in the top 1,000 of the monster ranking. The number of humans who could produce such monstrous geniuses was limited. 1/3 of the top 1,000 on the monster ranking had come. This was going to be a great battle. Schwa, schwa, schwa. The people on the demon talents ranking formed a formation outside the wilderness demon tribe's territory. They held various saint weapons in their hands. Strange phenomena appeared, and their saint chi was as deep as the sea. Boom! An unprecedented saint aura swept toward the devil clan like an unprecedented storm. This was a saint chi pressure that only the top 1,000 of the monster ranking and super monstrous geniuses, whose acupoints had expanded by more than 2,000 times, were qualified to form. This was an extremely rare event in the history of the human race where 300 monstrous geniuses joined forces. However, on the demon tribe's side, a few demon venerables looked at each other and smiled. Their smiles were full of mockery and disdain. Lin Chen raised his eyebrows. From their expressions, it seemed that the demon tribe still had a backup plan. You don't know what's good for you. The humans who have been suppressed by our race for countless years also have delusions of entering our territory? Today, this crown prince will let you know what it means to court death. Boom! A ray of demon chi descended like a sharp arrow, tearing through space. The aura of a certain demon hidden in the group suddenly soared. This demon had taken off his disguise. The ends of his hair were light, and his long hair danced in the wind. His handsome face was like a bright jade, and when he raised his eyebrows, his blood-red eyes were extraordinarily demonic and evil. His appearance was no different from a human, except for a pair of fleshy wings that were several feet long on his back. He smiled slightly, and his evil aura filled the sky. The space, light, and energy around him all collapsed and distorted. His aura was like that of a king of 10,000 demons, crushing the surrounding area and dominating the 1,000 realms. Bang! Boom! With an explosion, the vast Saint Chi formed by the joint forces of 300 monstrous geniuses was crushed to pieces in front of this demonic youth. The 300 monstrous geniuses groaned and retreated. He suppressed 300 monstrous geniuses with his own strength. What the hell is this F*King real? Lin Chen's pupils shrank. Most of the 300 monstrous geniuses were at the Sacred Heart realm. Some of the monsters were even comparable to the heaven-opening realm. 300 monstrous geniuses were actually no match for one young demon. It's him. I can't be wrong. This aura is one of the 36 princes of the demon race, the demonic brilliant crown prince. A charming monstrous genius's face was solemn. The 36 princes of the demon race. This kind of person was the son of the demon emperor. With the bloodline of the demon emperor, he was equivalent to the son of God of the human race. Everyone of the human race, are you the only trash here today? I wanted to see the talent saint ranking of the human race. I didn't expect it to be only you. How boring. The demonic brilliant crown prince said casually, not taking the people of the demon race seriously at all. Damn it, I suddenly want to run away. I really don't want to deal with this guy. To be honest, I'm not confident that I can last more than 10 moves against him. The other demons can use numbers to delay, but the demon crown prince won't fall for that. He'll die if he fights blindly. Even the red-haired saint, who was leading the human race, had a solemn expression. He didn't expect the demon race to do this. The demon crown prince was noble and prominent, comparable to the talent saint ranking. Some of the demon crown princes were even more terrifying than the talent saint ranking. They didn't expect the demon crown prince to come personally. This meant that there was an extremely important secret in the demonic dungeon of disaster. I've heard about the crown prince for a long time. I didn't expect to be lucky enough to meet him today. Now it's time for the show to start. I don't want to fight, but I have to fight every time. Just then, the situation changed. 6 figures appeared in the human race's camp at the same time. 4 men and 2 women. The monstrous geniuses were stunned and then overjoyed. Fei Yun ranked 161 on the demon race. Xue Haiming ranked 152. Hui Wukong ranked 178. Xia Zhiyang ranked 100. Fei Yingxue ranked 98. Fang Longji ranked 96. The morale of the human race's camp soared. The top 200 and top 100 on the demon race had all arrived. TSK. How many attribute points will I gain from this battle? Lin Chen rubbed his hands. His eyes flashed with unprecedented battle intent. I don't think I have enough strength. Since the demon crown prince is here, I should also show my trump card. In the secret chamber of the firmament tower, Lin Chen's body was instantly taken away by a wisp of jade-green light, disappearing without a trace. Lin Chen's real body was going to the demonic dungeon of disaster. A great battle was about to break out. Chapter 15:10. The leader, Xia Zhiyang, cupped his fists at the surprised red-haired old man. Our superiors expected some changes, so they invited us. Senior, please give us your orders. The red-haired old man was overjoyed. Then I'll leave it to you. We need to hold back those old guys. We need you youngsters to deal with the Crown Prince. Remember, the Heaven Calamity Devil Prison is one of the gathering places of calamity energy in the desolate demon and devil world. Today is the time when the calamity energy is the thinnest. If we stop them, the next time it opens will be 100,000 years later. I estimate that the Heaven Calamity Devil Prison will return to its previous state in at most 7 days. It will be countless times harder for them to enter. Fang Longji on the side nodded. Yes, the stronger the enemy is, the more important it is to stop them. They even sent the 36th Crown Prince, which means this is no small matter. Even if we don't know the enemy's goal, we must stop them with all our might. The four geniuses' expressions were very serious. Your mission is to hold back the Crown Prince. Remember, don't think about killing it. Whether it's a counterattack before death or purposely showing an opening, it will lead to heavy losses on our side. You are the few elites of the human race. Losing any one of you is a loss to the human race. The red-haired old man said solemnly. Killing the Crown Prince was not realistic. Dragging this battle out was the right thing to do. What I mean is, drag it out, drag it out. Drag it out and we win. The 318 geniuses stood together, facing the demonic Crown Prince who was hundreds of thousands of miles away. He was relaxed and relaxed, even playing with his fingertip. He was strange and awe-inspiring as he smiled indifferently. Are you ready? Have you decided who will go? I, the Crown Prince, prefer one-on-one battles. One against all of you. Lin Chen. These words sound familiar. Too familiar. There's an underlying meaning. The human race is quite strong. It seems our secret intelligence was not wasted. Attack, break their defense line. Force them to fight. The experts of the Dragon Clan were enraged. Dozens of completely different dragon auras gushed out, and a dragon's might swept over, completely crushing a line of defense. Attack, stop these reckless things first. Don't let them affect the ceremony. All the devils were on the move. An unprecedentedly fierce battle broke out in every direction outside the Heaven's Calamity Fiend prison. The chaotic battle erupted like an avalanche, filling every inch of space. The human race, the dragon race, and the demon race were fighting. The desolate land's demons wanted to enter the Heaven Calamity Devilish prison, but they needed demon supremacies and peak holy demon kings to resist the destructive energy. If the demon lords used too much of their combat power, the humans and dragons would find an opportunity to attack and stop them. Therefore, the demons could only enter the Heaven's Calamity Devil prison after they stopped the humans and dragons outside the borders of the demon territory. The chaotic battle circles quickly took shape. The one with the most terrifying momentum was the Demon Venerables battle circle. When the Demon Venerables fought, their opponents were all dragon kings of the dragon race and sages of the human race, who were at the first transition and above. The battle was extremely terrifying. It could be said that 100 or even 1,000 moves could be exchanged in an instant. This is a battle between First Revolution saints, using 47 orange tier combat skills in a single breath. A First Revolution saint is truly terrifying. The same amount of saint energy can be used in several different grades in the hands of a First Revolution saint. The geniuses on the monster ranking could not help but glance at him. If possible, they even wanted to stop and watch the battle between First Revolution saints. For geniuses of their level, watching a battle of this level would benefit them greatly. They could comprehend many techniques and insight. Because a First Revolution saint in a real battle state and a First Revolution saint in a sparring state were completely different. The things that they could comprehend were also on a completely different level. However, all the geniuses were on high alert. Their opponent was the Crown Prince of the demon race. Clang, clang, clang. Famous 7th-grade saint artifacts appeared one after another. They contained boundless saint light and were like shadows shuttling through the sky, illuminating the entire galaxy. So powerful, what a terrifying aura. I'm afraid only the great demon kings can withstand it, right? These humans are all powerful. The demons all looked at him, and were even a little worried about their crown prince. The aura gathered by the super geniuses even made the entire desolate land's demons team wary. Hee ha ha. The demonic crown prince suddenly looked up to the sky and laughed evilly. He opened his arms and smiled evilly. Sky demon doppelganger. Demonic chi surged and covered the sky. The demonic crown prince's demonic shadow moved around like an afterimage. One turned into 100, 1,000, and 10,000. The endless demonic shadows were like a hurricane that instantly crushed over. Boom, 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 bang, bang, bang. In an instant, the demonic shadows crushed through the sky like a violent storm. All the offensive and defensive formations that the super geniuses had prepared were all broken. In just an instant, all the super geniuses were hit and their defenses were broken. They spat out blood and retreated, their faces pale. The Crown Prince is mighty. The Crown Prince is unparalleled in the world, #1 in the world. The demon kings of the demon race were all in high spirits and shouted excitedly. Hiss! At this moment, even someone as strong as Lin Chen couldn't help but suck in a cold breath. His pupils trembled. What kind of monster was this? Strong. 2F** King strong. He defeated more than 300 super geniuses with one move. Lin Chen also clearly saw that if it weren't for Xia Zhiyang, Fang Longji, and the other 4 super geniuses, who were the most powerful ones, who launched a defense at the critical moment, it wouldn't have been as simple as a light injury. This is 2F** King strong. This is the son of the demon emperor, the crown prince of the demon race. Is he comparable to a monster on the talent saint list? Lin Chen unconsciously clenched his fist. He deeply felt the fatal gap between them. If so, Wu Pianju, who was also on the talent saint list, might be able to achieve a similar result. The talent saint list that the world looked up to might be very powerful. But in front of the legendary talent saint list, it might really be vulnerable. But now is not the time to be discouraged. Lin Chen waited quietly for the opportunity. On the other side, everyone, if you continue to hide, you will miss the opportunity. We are all humans. Do you want to be beaten by the demon race? Fang Longji shouted in a deep voice. The super geniuses looked at each other, and the gap in their eyes narrowed. Damn it, I didn't expect to join forces with you one day. Damn it, if you want to complain, complain to that monster, the crown prince of the demon race. I want to fight with him even in my dreams. I will give my all in this battle. The demon race's blood feud is irreconcilable. Boom. All the super geniuses regroup. They either took a divine pill, activated their cultivation techniques, secret techniques, or used their trump cards. At the border of the demon realm, hidden in a meteorite crack, Lin Chen subconsciously prepared the 4-piece God of War set. He was waiting for an opportunity. At this time, the Khanate 5 Elements essence was being protected by a demon lord and 4 demon kings. Once there was an opportunity, Lin Chen would immediately charge into the chaotic battle. With the 27% charged 4-piece God of War set, he would go all out and kill to snatch the Khanate 5 Elements essence. Chapter 15:11. There was only one chance. If the demonic crown prince and most of the demon venerables came back to their senses, Lin Chen would have no more chances. A heavenly fairy-like demon even waved her slender hand, and more than half of the dozens of demons nearby immediately recovered from their injuries. Oh? You want to use your full strength? The demonic crown prince sneered in disdain. He stepped out and crossed hundreds of thousands of miles. He floated in the air and faced all the demons calmly. The demonic crown prince laughed. Bring it on. You're at most an appetizer. My goal is the Saint Talent ranking. Fang Longji was so angry that he laughed. I'm just afraid that our appetizer will break your teeth after eating it. Fang Longji's hands slashed horizontally, and 2 surging dragon claws crushed the star fall. The demonic crown prince narrowed his eyes. He didn't even need to raise his hand. With a look, a whirlpool-like demon light appeared out of nowhere and crushed Fang Longji's attack. Rumble! What followed was an unprecedented wave of attacks, as over 300 geniuses attacked in different ways. Bang! 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 The battle erupted. This time, more than 300 super demons all showed their true abilities and even used all their trump cards. All kinds of killer moves were used, and finally, the demonic crown prince showed a hint of interest. The demon race's ultimate technique showed its brilliance. One demon fought against 300 super demons alone and still had the upper hand. The demon crown prince's foundation was fully displayed. While the humans, dragons, and demons were fighting, Lin Chen waited for an opportunity to observe. After killing so many peak Saint Demon Kings, Xing Long's power has exceeded 2,000 venerables. In a one-on-one fight, he doesn't fear mid-stage heaven-opening realm cultivators at all. The Taishi Divine Light is even more powerful than demon venerables. Each of my 3 clones has the battle prowess of an early-stage heaven-opening cultivator, but I can only use 3 at a time. If I use the 4-piece Battle God set, there shouldn't be many below the late stage of the heaven-opening realm who can fight me. Lin Chen quickly estimated the combat power of the 2 sides and looked at Lin Ping and, "Girl, we're going to do something big. Can you help me get rid of those guys?" Lin Ping and stared at the chaotic battlefield and nodded seriously. "Yes. No problem. The current fortune spirit plant is enough for me to go all out 5 times. There shouldn't be many below demon supremacy that can block a few of my moves." During this period of time, Lin Ping and had relied on Lin Chen to wreak havoc in the desolate demon and devil world. It could be said that he was a dragon returning to the sea, absorbing an endless amount of disaster energy. His current strength was incomparable to the past. "By the way, can you control that vortex?" Lin Chen pointed at the purple-brown vortex. Lin Ping and stared at it for a moment before shaking his head. "No, it has existed longer than me. Its energy is too chaotic and rich. I can slowly absorb it, but I can't control it to fight yet." Lin Pingon shook his head. The Heaven's Calamity Devil Prison was a forbidden ground that had existed for the longest time in the desolate demon and devil world. It was unknown how much calamity aura had gathered there. If one were to compare the time, it could probably be traced back to the first generation's calamity of pain. Then it's basically confirmed. Later, you will cover me and we will kill those 4 peak Saint Demon Kings together, defeat that Demon Lord, and snatch the innate 5 elements Yuan essence. If we succeed, we will immediately use our last ultra spacetime talent to return to Jiuzhou. Once Lin Chen made up his mind, he quietly waited for an opportunity. The battle lasted for 1 day, 2 days, 4 days. In the star field, the battle was so intense that the sky darkened and the stars shattered. More than 300 super monstrous geniuses fought the crown prince of the demon race. During this time, a total of 28 super monstrous geniuses escaped with heavy injuries. 2 of them were on the verge of death and almost died here. Finally, on the 5th day, the demon race seemed to be in a hurry to determine the victor. Their attacks were fierce. Although they suppressed the dragon race and the demon race, they also suffered heavy injuries. Now is the time. Lin Chen's eyes shone brightly. 4-piece God of War set. Rumble. The power of the God of War was unstoppable. Endless golden light entered Lin Chen's body. His pure strength broke through the power of 2,000 supremes. Lin Ping unbrought Lin Chen and crossed the void. Rip. A crack appeared in the void. Lin Ping and Lin Chen instantly landed on the battlefield. However, the 2 of them still maintained their demon race disguise. This caused the demon race's side to not be able to react. Kill them! Lin Chen and Lin Ping instantly charged towards the team that was escorting the innate 5 elements essence. 4 peak Saint Demon Kings and 1 demon race. Lin Ping flicked his finger. Endless disaster poison gas surged like a tide and turned into a poison dragon. What? The demon lord in the lead was fast. He instantly slapped his palm and crushed dozens of disaster poison dragons. He retreated a few hundred miles and shouted coldly, "No, there are spies. These 2 demons are not on our side." Rumble. A ray of God of War's golden light landed in the middle of the 4 peak demon kings. The grayish-white slow rune exploded in the air. Consumed 8 million top-grade rune energy. Host has activated slow rune. 8,000,000 rune energy. This slow rune consumed nearly 1/3 of Lin Chen's total rune energy. It was fine if he did not make a move, but once he did, Lin Chen was his strongest trump card. The instant an unprecedented sluggish rune exploded, even the 4 great peak demon kings were caught unprepared. It was at this moment that Lin Chen and his 3 doppelgangers appeared at the same time and attacked with their elbows. Rumble. Time and space collapsed, and the force swept across 1,000 layers of planes. Lin Chen's attack exploded with 2,000 Supreme's power and instantly crushed the weakest peak Saint Demon King. His head exploded on the spot. They turned into attribute values that filled the sky and entered Lin Chen's body. The other 2 doppelgangers each attacked and repelled the other 2 peak demon kings. Instant light doppelganger. Heavenly Claw. The 3rd doppelganger of the Holy Dragon possession targeted the strongest peak Holy Demon King and slashed out with its claw. Azure flames swirled around its claw as it smashed towards the Holy Demon King. Rumble. That Saint Demon King had just broken free from the slow rune and was severely injured by the 5 transcendent bloodline abilities. The Holy Dragon avatar swung the Azure Dragon sword again, slicing the demonic arm into 4 pieces. The treasure box containing the innate 5 elemental origin essence fell along with the demonic arm. Oh no! The demon lord that was repelled by Lin Pingon finally realized that his target was the connate 5 elemental essence. Don't even think about ruining my race's plan. The demon lord reached out with a demonic hand that pierced through the void. Demonic light shot out like a giant palm, but it was once again destroyed by Lin Pingon's finger. The Saint Demon King, whose arm was cut off, gritted its teeth and rose again. It transformed into a huge demon Kuan and was about to swallow the connate 5 elemental essence. Rip! Another 5 heavenly claw attacks came, and Lin Chen punched out again. The Saint Demon King, who had transformed into a demon Kuan, became a target and was pierced through by Lin Chen and his doppelganger. It turned into a sky full of elemental light balls. Lin Chen didn't care about the soaring attributes when the light balls quickly merged with his doppelganger. Instead, he snatched the connate 5 elemental essence. The moment he held it, Lin Chen's eyes were filled with passion. The terrifying energy seemed to fill the entire world. It wasn't something that a spatial artifact could contain. Time travel talent. Lin Chen used the remaining talent points to activate the time travel talent and absorbed the connate 5 elemental essence. This treasure was Lin Chen's. Huh? Something happened? Far away from the border, the demonic crown prince, who was still fighting more than 300 super geniuses, immediately looked at his own side. At this moment, Lin Chen happened to look at him. The man and the demon's eyes met. Chapter 15:12. What the F***ck is going on? There's a traitor in the desolate realm? What's going on? Didn't they say that they would only choose the most trustworthy demon kings? What happened to those guys? The other party came prepared. The connate 5 elements essence has been taken away. Quick! Send people to take them down as soon as possible. There was chaos on the demon's side. The situation on the battlefield changed rapidly. From the moment Lin Chen appeared to obtaining the connate 5 elements essence, it took less than 3 breaths. He even killed 2 peak Saint Demon Kings. Traitor of the demons? You're courting death. I'll personally crush you today. The demonic crown prince was furious. Chi. Bang. The terrifying demonic chi exploded, injuring dozens of super monsters. Their faces were filled with shock. Demon Crown Prince. When the human and demon looked at each other from a distance, the smell of gunpowder was very strong. Rumble. The demons returned from all directions. A large number of Saint Demon Kings aimed at Lin Chen and attacked, forcing his clones to block them immediately. Because of Lin Chen, the pressure on the humans and dragons decreased. Although I really want to meet the legendary Demon Crown Prince, I've already achieved my goal. Let's go. Just as Lin Chen was about to pull Lin Ping and use hyperspace to escape, the demonic crown prince swept away all the monsters with a palm. He took a step forward and teleported the surrounding void. Sky Demon Sky Technique. Rumble. The space exploded, and the demonic crown prince's figure appeared above Lin Chen's head. Hiss. All the monsters gasped. The demonic crown prince was still hiding such an ultimate technique. If he had used it in the battle just now, they would definitely have been heavily injured. It was even possible that more than 10 super monsters would have died. Clearly, the demonic crown prince hadn't used his true ability at all. Traitor of a lowly race, die for me? The demonic crown prince aimed his palm at Lin Chen, crushing the galaxy for thousands of miles and enveloping all of Lin Chen's senses. Lin Chen even felt like he had fallen into darkness, and even his thoughts were sluggish. Motherf ***, so scary? Lin Chen instinctively increased the power of the 4-piece God of War set. The Holy Dragon clone suddenly activated its bloodline power, and the Taishi Divine Light transformed into a halo that enveloped Lin Chen. Lin Chen shouted coldly. So what if you're the crown prince of the demons? Break for me. Lin Chen turned around and lashed out with his leg, his strength breaking through the power of 3,000 venerables. TSK. Bang! Demonic chi exploded, and boundless darkness filled the entire galaxy. It was as if it could swallow the starry sky. Lin Chen was blasted 100 kilometers away. Even though he had the protection of the absolute defense, the chi and blood in his body were in turmoil. Crown Prince Mo Huang took 4 steps back and shattered the void. His face was filled with surprise. Where did this demon come from? He actually didn't die after receiving this prince's attack? Motherf ***, that was close. If I didn't use the Taishi Divine Light just now, I would be half dead even with the 4-piece God of War set. Lin Chen frowned. It was not difficult for him to escape, but the problem was that Lin Pingon was being held back by another demon lord. He could not leave her here. He had to break through. Even if one of his clones managed to break through, he could go to Lin Pingon's side, and vice versa. However, the one standing in front of Lin Chen was the crown prince of the demons. Lin Chen had to drag him down. On the human side, the super monsters. What's going on? The demons seem to be in chaos. Don't worry about them. Hurry up and adjust. They might attack again later. Hurry up and help the other battlefields if you can. It's best if you can destroy their borders in one go. The super monsters all took action, not letting go of any opportunity to fight. In the void, Lin Chen's 3 clones were surrounded by the Demon Kings. However, the illusionary clones were all enhanced by the Taishi Divine Light, and they fought with all their might against the peak Saint Demon Kings. Especially Lin Chen's Divine Dragon clone, which had the power of 2,000 venerables. Ordinary peak Demon Kings would be severely injured in a few moves. He kept collecting elemental light balls. The more he fought, the fiercer he became. And the Crown Prince was staring at Lin Chen. Hand over the connate 5 elements essence, and I'll spare your life. Hand over your head. Lin Chen punched out again, creating a vacuum path in the void. He shattered the light and went straight for the Crown Prince. The power of this punch was raised to a new level. It had exceeded 3,500 venerables. You don't want this face of mine? You're so stubborn. You're asking for death. The Crown Prince raised his hand and pointed. A crack appeared in the void, and a needle-like demonic light pierced through the fist. It exploded and shattered a large number of meteorites and rocks. Lin Chen's punch was broken by the Crown Prince's finger. The wings on the Crown Prince's back flapped, and purple-black demonic blades whizzed out. Thousands of them swept toward Lin Chen. Since I haven't done the Saint Talent ranking, I'll use you as a warm-up today. Lin Chen's shoulders shook, and his battle intent surged. He shattered a large part of the void and rushed toward the Crown Prince with pure strength. Lin Chen's fists were like a torrential downpour. In an instant, Lin Chen struck out 1,000 times, shattering all the demonic blades around him. Rip, rip. A demonic hand mixed in the exploding demonic blades went straight for Lin Chen's heart. Lin Chen gathered his power and launched a knee strike. He crushed 1,000 layers of planes and blew away the demonic hand. Then, he turned around and threw a punch at Prince Mo Huang, who was hiding in the void. Demon Slayer Palm. Slow Rune. Demonic Burial Divine Ocean. Super Chaos. Break. The man and the demon used their ultimate skills and fought until the sky fell and the earth cracked. All the demons were dumbfounded. Where did this demon come from? He could fight the Crown Prince to a standstill. Lin Chen's battle intent exploded as he used all his strength. His 4-piece God of War set didn't increase much compared to before. However, Lin Chen's body refinement level had increased by several levels. The higher the host's body refinement level, the more the 4-piece God of War set would increase. Even if the 4-piece God of War set only had 1% of its energy, as long as Lin Chen wore it, his body refinement power would increase beyond his current level. The Crown Prince became more and more frustrated as he fought. In terms of power, this demon was definitely not his match. However, Lin Chen used the Taishi Divine Light to block many of the Crown Prince's attacks. He was the son of a demon emperor, but he couldn't take down a wild demon of unknown origin? Thinking of this, Prince Ma Huang's pride as the son of the demon monarch made him launch a series of powerful attacks. Lin Chen's Taishi Godly Light was dimmed and shattered. Right at this moment, Lin Chen revealed a trace of a smile. Rumble. The battlefield changed again. After Lin Chen's Sacred Dragon clone successfully killed 2 early-stage Heaven-Opening Realm Peak Demon Kings, he broke through the encirclement and reached Lin Ping and was even closer to the Heaven Calamity Fiend prison, so the demon lords who came to help didn't dare to approach. They were all stunned. She was immune to the Heaven Calamity Fiend prison's Chi of Calamity? Let's leave the victory for next time. Demon Crown Prince, I will fight you in the future. Lin Chen laughed. Lin Chen, was going to escape, running after a fight. How exciting! At this moment, Lin Chen didn't realize how many attribute light balls he had absorbed. His body was changing. Chapter 15-13. What a terrifying demonic race! Who would have thought that there would be so many hidden dragons and crouching tigers in the demon race? Look, this demon looks ordinary. Other than being handsome, he's nothing but a fart. Yet, this fella can actually fight with the Crown Prince of the demon race to this extent. That's ridiculous. I can also feel that his life energy is very young. Tough, too tough. It's so tough that my scalp is numb. Look at that skill. Damn. He can't break through the demonic Crown Prince's 100 moves. If it were our Dragon Clan, a bloodline ability of this level would have to be at least peerless. It's a move that only the son of the Divine Dragon could use. Even the experts of the Dragon race were shocked by Lin Chen's performance. It could be said that Lin Chen was an absolute genius. One of the top 300 super geniuses on the Demon Genius list, who was known as the hope of the human race, was suppressed by the opponent alone. It could be seen that each of the 36 demonic crown princes was a tough character. The moment the divine dragon clone broke through the encirclement and approached Lin Chen could finally escape. Beyond the space-time dimension. Whoosh! A green spatial light flashed above Lin Chen's head, and the demonic crown prince's palm missed. What? While the demonic crown prince was shocked, Lin Chen appeared next to Lin Ping, and in the next moment. At this time, Lin Ping was already close to the Heaven Calamity Fiend prison. This was the plan that Lin Chen had given her from the beginning. All the chi of calamity within 100,000 feet of Lin Ping was ineffective against her, and the demon lords couldn't get close easily. When Lin Chen appeared, he put his hand on Lin Ping's shoulder and sent a voice transmission to countless elite. Time flies. It's time to say goodbye again. Everyone, there won't be. Before Marshal Lin could finish his words, his expression suddenly changed. A powerful wave of saint power was about to explode, and it began to brew in Lin Chen's body. Lin Chen's pupils shrank. Oh my God, it can't be. Something big is going to happen. Lin Chen was both unfamiliar and familiar with this wave of saint power. His 41st saint point was about to explode. The expanded aperture realm could suppress the condensed aperture realm, but there was a limit. Generally speaking, the higher the acupoint expansion, the greater the suppression of one's realm. Lin Chen was the same, but this time, Lin Chen had no idea what was going on. He had killed countless saint demon kings and many heaven-opening realm human cultivators from the battlefield of the 9 races. Not to mention, after he came to the desolate demon and devil realms, with Lin Ping's strongest support, he went on a killing spree and killed dozens of pinnacle devil kings. The top-grade essence and top-grade chi and blood that he had obtained from this were already a sea of them. If not for the fact that the Holy Dragon had the bloodline of the Divine Dragon, its physical body and foundation were extremely high, allowing it to contain a huge amount of top-notch vitality attribute points. If it were any other Holy Dragon, their cultivation might have been even higher. This is bad. Not only the 41st saint point, but the 42nd saint point might also explode. In that split second, Lin Ming broke out in a cold sweat. F***ck, why didn't I think of this? Condensing aperture was definitely not a small matter for those on the demon genius list. The stronger the acupoint expansion, the more terrifying the phenomenon and power of condensing aperture would be. Not to mention Lin Chen's heaven-defying acupoint expansion. Once he condensed his aperture, heaven and earth would lose its color. If he returned to the 9 states continent to condense his aperture, the entire 9 states continent would be blown up by him. Even if he evacuated the space near the 9 states continent, he might not be able to guarantee the safety of the 9 states continent. After all, who knew how many times Lin Chen could condense his aperture? System, can I condense my aperture in the ultra space-time dimension? System prompt. Host does not have many talent points left. If you enter the ultra space-time dimension, you can only maintain it for 1 day at most. It was simply unrealistic to condense his aperture in 1 day. If Lin Chen was teleported out of the ultra space-time dimension during the process, he would really be treated as a live target. Then return to the sacred boundary. This is the only possibility. System, teleport me back to the sacred boundary. Just as Lin Chen was thinking of a solution, the system popped up again. The host needs to carry a target whose cultivation level is too high. Insufficient talent points, unable to open the ultra space-time dimension from the sacred boundary. Lin Chen was stunned. During this period of time, he had been sending materials and resources to the sacred boundary and used up a lot of his talent points. The peak demon king that he killed earlier could only support him to bring Lin Pingon back to the 9 states continent, but they could not return to the sacred boundary together. This time, he was in big trouble. He couldn't leave this girl behind and run away by himself. But if he returned to the 9 states continent to condense his aperture, he would harm everyone. My aperture is about to explode. Oh no, I don't have much time to hesitate now. Lin Chen was sweating like rain. The suppression of the aperture was about to collapse. Lin Pingon also noticed that something was wrong with him. Her little face was full of doubts. What's wrong with you? I am about to explode. Lin Chen smiled bitterly. Lin Pingon recalled his realm and immediately clapped her little hands. Condense aperture? Isn't there a ready-made place here? Lin Chen was stunned. When he followed Lin Pingon's finger, the purple-brown energy vortex was spinning like an astrolabe. Yeah. Isn't this a ready-made place? Lin Chen clapped his hands and praised. Without saying anything, he pulled Lin Pingon into the Heaven Calamity demonic prison. Hiss! What's going on? How can they not be affected by the calamity energy? A large number of Saint Demon Kings were stunned. The demonic Crown Prince's expression was uncertain. He took a step and swept across the void. Your Highness, you can't do this. Crown Prince, please reconsider. If anything happens to you, it will be the loss of our desolate demon race. Crown Prince, we have to be responsible for your safety. 3 or 4 demon lords immediately flashed and blocked the demonic Crown Prince from entering the Heaven Calamity demonic prison. They immediately knelt on one knee and said in a trembling voice, "Damn it!" The demonic Crown Prince gritted his teeth. It was a disgrace to be defeated by this unknown wild demon. Crown Prince, the most important thing now is the battle. That bastard has entered the Heaven Calamity demonic prison. Unless the Heavenly Demon Lord makes a move, we can't do anything to him. An old Demon Lord said respectfully, plus, why is the Crown Prince in such a hurry? This Heaven Calamity demonic prison is still our desolate demon race's territory. Even if he escapes in, he won't be able to come out easily. By then, we will kill him at any time. That's right. Crown Prince, don't destroy our race's great cause in a moment of anger. At most, we will wait for another 1,000 years. This demon won't be able to escape. The Heaven Calamity demonic prison is about to return to its most violent state. Then, he will definitely die. Under the persuasion of the demon lords, the demonic Crown Prince finally gave up on the idea. His face was full of anger. A trace of viciousness flashed across his evil face as he looked at the human camp in the distance. In that case, I will use these humans to vent my anger. Rumble! The demonic Crown Prince suddenly attacked aggressively. This time, unlike before, his murderous intent skyrocketed. He rushed into the camp of the demon super geniuses. Each attack could severely injure several super geniuses on the spot. Some even lost half of their lives. However, before the chaotic battle started again, an anomaly soared into the sky. Boom! Boom! Bang! 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 A series of violent saint power waves exploded from the Heaven Calamity demonic prison and swept across the entire starry sky. The 9-colored saint light was like a tide of energy that covered the sky and turned into a huge wave. The 9-colored saint light kept spreading and expanding, turning into a 9-colored whirlpool. The boundless chi overshadowed the calamity energy of the Heaven Calamity demonic prison and started to gather at the center of the demonic prison. It was as if a god had descended. At this moment, the demon race, dragon race, and human race elites were completely dumbfounded. The super genius floating in the air, Feng Longji, was shaking all over. When he looked into the distance, his eyes were filled with disbelief. Hey! God, are you kidding me? These super geniuses were very familiar with this anomaly. It was the anomaly of the acupoint condensing stage. But who the F***ck is condensing acupoints in the demon realm? Which F***king god is this? At this moment, the elites of the 3 races were completely in an uproar. Chapter 15-14. At this moment, no matter if it was a peak holy demon king or a top-tier holy demon king. Whether it was the dragon king of the dragon clan, the sages of the human clan, or the super geniuses, all of them stopped fighting. Even the demonic brilliant crown prince, who had been arrogant all his life, stopped. All of the experts' eyes were filled with confusion, shock, and disbelief. The group of super geniuses felt their scalps go numb, and many of them were shocked. I've seen handstand diarrhea, demonic dragon movement, and the tortoise tribe cutting off their heads, but I've never seen such a ridiculous scene. Bullsh *T this is crazy, it must be an illusion. According to the movement of the stars nearby, the flow of energy, and the signs of my brother's congestion, the possibility of seeing an illusion is 0.00001%, and the probability of the world going crazy is 99.9999%. Impossible, it's definitely impossible. We saw an illusion, it's definitely an illusion, ha ha ha. Don't pull me, I'm not crazy. All of the super geniuses were excited. Their expressions changed from bewilderment, to shock, to disbelief, to panic, and finally to horror. That's right, it was horror. It was like a F***King horror movie. Was this world crazy? Acupuncture point condensation? It was the acupuncture point condensation vision? Were they hallucinating? Was this a joke? This was too F***King ridiculous. What was so shocking about the acupuncture point condensation vision of a breakthrough? However, who had seen someone condense their acupuncture point in the firmament star region? A condensation realm cultivator would be cannon fodder here. However, the scene before them was even more ridiculous. Not only did he condense his acupuncture point in the firmament star region, but he also broke through in the demonic realm. Who would dare to condense their acupuncture point in the demonic realm? Even those super geniuses on the Saint Talent leaderboard would not go to the demonic realm to condense their acupuncture point. Wasn't this a death wish? What was even more ridiculous was that he condensed his acupuncture point in the territory of the demon and demonic realm of the desolate demon and demonic realm. What kind of race explosion joke was this? Even the demon honorables of the demon and demonic realm of the desolate demon and demonic realm did not dare to go near. Even a condensation realm or augmentation realm cultivator would not be left behind. What kind of F***king immortal cavern expansion stage cultivator could run to the heaven calamity devil prison of the desolate demon and devil world to condense his acupoints? Which lunatic would have such a heaven-defying idea that no one dared to even think about, and even manage to achieve it? The dragon kings of the dragon clan even activated their dragon breath and stared at the strange phenomenon in the sky. They were so shocked that they mumbled to themselves. "Oh dragon god, are my eyes playing tricks on me? A human actually went to the devil realm to condense his acupoints? Are you serious? Since ancient times, the devil realm has always been a forbidden area for us humans and dragons. Who the hell would go there to condense their acupoints and break through?" The dragons were also scared silly. Breaking through the acupoint condensation realm in the territory of the devil world, what kind of concept was that? It was like two armies were fighting, and the heaven calamity fiend prison was the enemy's territory. They had fought for thousands or even tens of thousands of years without being able to break into the enemy's territory. Suddenly one day, not only did someone barge in, they even F***king consummated their marriage inside. Who the F***ck would sleep in the enemy's territory? Moreover, breaking through to the meridian condensing realm was much more important than sleeping in the bridal chamber. All the Saint Demon Kings of the Devil Clan looked at each other, their eyes filled with unprecedented shock. This day, this battle, this moment, no matter if it was good or bad, was destined to be. Even the arrogant demonic brilliant crown prince could not help but be stunned and laugh self-mockingly. There's such a thing? Firmament star field, human territory, 10th floor of the star pagoda. The 10th floor was the residence of many Star Pagoda elders. Today, the Star Pagoda was shrouded in a faint haze. This time, the humans were already lacking in manpower, and they had sent out a portion of them to carry out that secret mission with severely insufficient intelligence. It was a huge gamble, and anything could happen. It was even possible that all of them would be wiped out. However, if they did not go, the consequences would be even more severe. I don't know if these little guys are up to the task, Sai. We can only rely on them. In this situation, if we don't send out people to investigate, if the Devil Clan carries out some big plan, it could endanger the entire human race. These guys are really… Wait a minute. Look, what's that? Suddenly, someone among the Star Pagoda elders exclaimed. A strange aura fluctuation came from extremely far away. An energy vortex formed by a 9-colored aurora slowly rose and gradually expanded, turning into a meridian eye, hanging in the sky and still expanding. The elders were first surprised, then confused, then horrified, and finally dumbfounded. Meridian condensing vision? That's not right. The youngsters who entered the firmament star field are at least in the star-receiving realm. Who the F***ck let a transformative realm cultivator in? No. Look, that direction, isn't it the direction where Old Man Chihua and the others are carrying out their mission? No way. Desolate Demon and Devil Realm? They're condensing their meridian points in the Desolate Demon and Devil Realm? Crazy! On the 8th floor of the Star Pagoda, all the monsters on the Demon Genius list gathered here to rest and recuperate. Rumble. At this moment, a mysterious energy fluctuation stirred up the aura of heaven and earth, spreading in all directions. The super monsters who were adjusting their aura, in seclusion, or chatting happily just now were all stunned. As they looked into the distance and sensed the strange aura and saint power fluctuation, their expressions suddenly changed. Especially when they sensed that the saint power fluctuation came from the desolate demon and devil realm, their expressions became unprecedentedly interesting. Some jumped up and rushed out of the Star Pagoda with their mouths wide open. What the F***ck? Someone is condensing their meridian points. Some of the monsters felt their scalps go numb, and they had goosebumps all over their bodies. They were in disbelief, as if they had seen a miracle. This is crazy. What day is it today? Which deity is condensing his meridian points in the devil realm? Some of the monsters even rushed in that direction and knelt down, shouting with their mouths wide open. Grandpa! King called you Grandpa already. No, ancestor, ha. Condensing his meridian points in the devil realm. If he's not an ancestor, then what is he? That's too awesome. Crazy. This must be crazy. What's wrong with this world? Oh my God, who is this? I want to acknowledge him as my ancestor too. If he's not an immortal, then what is he? Condensing his meridian points in the devil realm? What the F***ck? He must be a deity descending from the heavens. The human race is number 1 in the world. Condensing his meridian points in the devil realm? Oh my God, this is like taking a dump on the devil realm's head. He even needs to borrow paper from them, ha. Outside the Star Pagoda, all the saints of the human race in the firmament star field were shocked and overjoyed at the same time. They were all in an uproar. Not only that, when the other 3 demon tribes and the dragon tribe received the news, they were also in an uproar. A deity-like saint had condensed his meridian points in the devil realm. This news became an unprecedented storm that swept across the entire firmament star field, causing the entire star field to explode. Chapter 15:15. After a short moment of shock, the experts came back to their senses. Something was wrong. The humans had not broken through the defense line at the border. How could they send people in? From the beginning until now, The only living beings that had entered were the 5 devil clans from before. Could it be that there are humans among the 5 demons? The demon supremacies looked at each other and thought of the rumor in the demon and demon worlds. It was true that humans had sneaked into the demon world. But that didn't seem right either. Wasn't it said that the one who had sneaked into the demon world was someone on the talent saint roll? Where did this transformation realm human come from? How could a human talent saint sneak into the demon world? Wasn't that nonsense? No matter how powerful he was, he couldn't do that. All demons, listen up. Guard the border. Stop the humans and dragons. I've already sent a message to the top 100 demon supremacies. Even if the humans on the talent saint roll come, they will die. A demon lord whose body was covered in pitch-black demon flames transmitted his voice. All the saint demon kings on the battlefield surged with power, and the battle became even more ferocious. You want to risk your life? The red-haired saint of the human race narrowed his eyes. When he looked at the faraway Heaven's Calamity Fiend prison, he was stunned again. Why hasn't the phenomenon stopped yet? This is even more terrifying than when I watched the divine infant on the talent saint roll condense their acupoints. The dragon race sensed a turning point. Drag it out. Drag it out. Create as much trouble for the demons as possible. Don't let them in. Inside the Heaven's Calamity Fiend prison. Inside the rapidly spinning purple-brown whirlpool, Lin Ping opened up a safe space while Lin Chen's clones protected him. Lin Chen sat cross-legged in the center. He sensed that there seemed to be some powerful energy in the depths of the Heaven's Calamity Fiend prison. But now was not the time to care about that. His acupoint condensed, and the world changed. With the Heaven's Calamity Fiend prison as the center, Lin Chen's 41st Saint acupoint condensed into an unprecedented phenomenon. Lin Chen's 41st Saint acupoint shone brightly, and hexagonal starlight vaguely formed. Endless saint power was brewing, about to burst out. Rune of Slowing. The host has consumed 200,000 rune energy points to activate the slow rune. Lin Chen shot a slow rune into his saint acupoint. Just like when he was in the acupoint expansion realm, he used the same trick again. Otherwise, his 41st saint acupoint would explode on its own, and he wouldn't be able to achieve perfection. Lin Chen completely relaxed and calmed down. His state of mind had long been tempered to perfection and tenacity. With the experience of expanding his acupoints, Lin Chen was very calm this time. He was like a quietly burning ball of angry flames, and the intensity of the flames was increasing. The increase in strength in the acupoint condensation stage is based on the number of acupoint expansion stage acupoints expansion stage. My first acupoint expansion multiplier is not strong, only 13 times. However, my acupoint condensation multiplier will far surpass acupoint expansion multiplier. For ordinary super geniuses, the total condensed acupoints is about 1/10 of the total expanded acupoint. For super geniuses who expand acupoints by 2,000 times, the total condensed acupoints will be about 300 times. Lin Chen circulated the holy energy in his body, gathering it all at the 41st Saint acupoint. The vortex formed by the 9-colored holy light in the sky expanded. The total expanded acupoint was the foundation, and it affected the upper limit of the acupoint condensation stage. Lin Chen's first acupoint expansion stage was very ordinary, but his total acupoint expansion stage was extremely abnormal. This would cause his acupoint condensation stage to be abnormal as usual. Now, system, remove the slowing rune. Rumble. The moment the slowing rune was removed, it was as if billions of volcanoes had erupted in Lin Chen's body. It was as if 10,000 planes had sunk together. His holy energy was like a heavenly dragon descending from the heavens, and it was as if a true god had broken through to the next level. 41st Saint acupoint, open for me. Bam! 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 The 9-colored holy light vortex in the sky immediately let out a series of more than 100 explosions. But it wasn't over yet. The 9-colored holy light vortex expanded once again, like a beautiful and magnificent astrolabe, splendid and magnificent. Lin Chen's 41st Saint Acupoint began to form. When a new 6-pointed star was formed, its light illuminated the entire sky. Outside the Heaven's Calamity Fiend dungeon, many veteran experts and super geniuses of the human clan looked askance at him in horror. 300 times. He started with 300 acupoints condensation stage. This is the talent of the Saint Talent list. It's not over yet. He's still going on. Damn it. He broke through 800 times. Damn it. A peerless Saint Talent. A real peerless Saint Talent. Many super geniuses trembled in shock. What kind of deity was this? Their total acupoint expansion stage was only 300 to 400 times. The mysterious person in the demonic dungeon of Heaven's Calamity had broken through 800 times. Even the demonic crown prince could not help but be distracted by this unprecedented acupoint condensation stage. Firmament star field, inside the star tower. The unprecedented acupoint condensation stage phenomenon startled all the humans in the star tower. Countless experts appeared, including those super geniuses who were in seclusion. The old human saints all came out of seclusion. This acupoint condensation stage phenomenon is too terrifying. It's almost 1,000 times. Back then, the holy infant Xuehong, who had yet to enter the Saint Talent list, came to this world with his peerless talent. He created the Tao of blood and became a supreme being after devouring 10,000 blood. His acupoint condensation stage phenomenon was earth-shattering. I was lucky enough to see it. Compared to this, the holy infant Xuehong's acupoint condensation stage phenomenon is not even 1/10 as powerful. Is this really something that the human race can do? No wonder he's the one who condensed his acupoint condensation stage phenomenon in the demonic realm. He's really something. Perhaps in the near future, there'll be another unprecedented Saint Talent on the Saint Talent list. Inside and outside the Star Tower, many human experts were either overjoyed, worried, crazy, or confused. This acupoint condensation stage phenomenon was too strange and unexpected. If a acupoint condensation stage cultivator went to the demonic realm, no matter how powerful a Saint Talent was, he might not be able to walk out alive. The 9-colored Saint Light Vortex continued to explode 1,200 times before it gradually quieted down. Lin Chen's first acupoint condensation stage phenomenon increased by 1,200 times. Inside the Heaven's Calamity Fiend prison, Lin Chen, who was sitting cross-legged in the void, had 41 Saint Acupoints shining brightly. The 41st Saint Acupoint emitted a hexagonal saint light that was the most dazzling. Lin Chen's eyes flashed with a sharp saint light that pierced through the void. When he was in the acupoint expansion stage, Lin Chen's saint power was equivalent to 80 trillion dragon power points, and because of his elemental attributes, his lethality was close to 90 trillion dragon power points. My first acupoint condensation stage phenomenon is 1,200 times, which corresponds to my first acupoint expansion stage phenomenon, which is 13 times. The first acupoint expansion stage 3-stage Saint Realm multiplied by 13 times was 500 million dragon power points per Saint Acupoint, which was another 1,200 times. Just Lin Chen's first acupoint condensation stage phenomenon alone increased his dragon power points by 78 trillion. It's not over yet. My previous accumulation is enough to perfectly open the 42nd Saint Acupoint. The real show is just beginning. Lin Chen's eyes were filled with fighting spirit. When he had first acupoint expansion stage phenomenon, it had only been 13 times. The second acupoint condensation stage phenomenon corresponded to Lin Chen's second acupoint expansion stage phenomenon. His second acupoint expansion stage phenomenon was 700 times. That's right, the real show was just beginning. Chapter 15-16. Chi. Bang. 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 Terrifying acupoint condensing Saint Power ripples burst out from the 9-colored Saint Power vortex. It was like a star core exploding, stirring up the wind and blowing up the Sky Calamity Fiend prison. Fortunately, the Sky Calamity Fiend prison was full of calamity energy, so Lin Chen's Saint Power ripples didn't spread too far. In addition, with Lin Ping and refining the calamity energy for him, Lin Chen could fully focus on the acupoint condensing state. Lin Chen, you can do it! Lin Ping and cheered for Lin Chen seriously, but she didn't dare to send him a voice transmission for fear of disturbing Lin Chen. She waved her little fists, her face red with excitement. I've finally stepped into the condensing realm. Back then, when I first became a saint, a condensing realm cultivator could crush me. Now, I can destroy a large number of condensing realm cultivators with one breath. Between Lin Chen's brows, an absolute confidence of controlling the universe flashed past. Lin Chen's mind flashed with the thrilling scenes of the past, polishing his state of mind until it was clear and bright. His saint acupoints illuminated the stars, and the sun and moon illuminated the sky. The saint power he gathered burst out as if he had all the tricks up his sleeves. Lin Chen's spiritual perception was raised to the extreme, and he immediately sensed the location of the 42nd Saint Acupoint. Through the 41st Saint Acupoint, it was as if billions of heavenly dragons were born, crushing the 42nd Saint Acupoint. This acupoint condensing, either I don't do it, or I'll be the King best in the world. This acupoint condensing, I want to surpass the star realm, the Saint Heart realm, and the heaven opening realm. Lin Chen was determined to be the best in the sacred boundary. Since ancient times, the sacred boundary had never fused with a condensing realm cultivator who could surpass the life and death realm, star realm, Saint Heart realm, and even the heaven opening realm. Lin Chen's cerebral cortex was heating up, and his blood was boiling. A wave of heat that had been brewing in his chest burst out with a roar. 42nd Saint Acupoint, open! Rumble! Bang! The 9-colored holy light, which was spinning like an astrolabe, grew crazily again. At this moment, boundless saint power was nourishing Lin Chen's saint body. His flesh and blood were like the universe, his bones were like the sun, moon, and stars, his veins were like rivers and seas, and a single drop of his blood could burn down 10,000 heavenly mountains. His essence, energy, spirit, blood, chi, blood, and vitality had all reached their peak at this moment. The 42nd Saint Point was opened. Bang! 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 The 9-colored starlight exploded continuously, shattering the clouds and sweeping away the sun, moon, and universe. It was not only the desolate demon and devil realms, but also the entire firmament star field. This time, the continuous explosions lasted for an entire day. In the desolate demon world, countless Saint Demon Kings were stunned when they sensed the aura that seemed to connect to the 9 heavens. This is the human race's acupoint condensation? What kind of joke is this? A human dares to condense his acupoints in my demon territory? Roar. This is a disgrace to our clan. What the hell are these guys doing? Why did you let a human in again? The entire desolate demon and devil realms were turned upside down. Lin Chen's first meridian condensation couldn't even be considered a warm-up compared to the second. His second acupoint condensation shook the entire star field. Even the higher-ups of the dragon tribe, human tribe, and devil tribe were shocked. At the highest level of the star pagoda, a young man in a snow-white robe was elegant. His light green eyebrows seemed to have cinnabar on them. He was extremely handsome, and his fair face revealed a different kind of vicissitudes. When the young man opened his eyes, a few rays of light shot out from his weathered eyes. It was as if he could see through the void and directly into the demonic prison of desolate demon and devil realm. The human race has a shocking saint talent, and he's condensing his acupoints in the devil realm. The young man was shocked. He tried to look through the void to the center of the 9-colored holy light vortex, but he was blocked by a strong disastrous aura that blocked his senses. The demonic prison of desolate demon is really strange. I wonder if those old guys will make a move. The young man retracted his gaze and stared into the distance. The aura of the space-time realm seemed to be destroyed in his eyes. If there were any changes, he would personally go to the devil realm. Firmament Star Field, Dragon Tribe, Divine Dragon Valley. A man and a woman in golden robes flashed and appeared in the sky above the Divine Dragon Valley. Their eyes narrowed slightly. Even with their experience and cultivation, they could not help but be shocked by the aura of the acupoint condensation. Acupoint condensation in the devil realm? How bold! Who is this guy? Strange. It's too strange. I can't even deduce the trajectory of this child's fate. I can't even deduce how much of an impact he will have on our 3 races. The man and woman were even more shocked. It was the first time they could not see through someone's fate. Desolate demon and devil realm, inside a pitch-black heaven abyss. At the bottom of the abyss, a pair of eyes filled with overflowing hostility opened. Acupoint condensation? I haven't seen the human race for a while. Have they become so arrogant that they dare to come to our devil realm to condense their acupoints? Whoosh! A ray of demonic light appeared. It seemed like it was about to head to the demonic prison of desolate demon. Rumble! A powerful aura shrouded the area around Heaven Abyss. It came from a faraway realm. The fluttering snow sage king has locked onto me. The demonic light stopped in midair, and a tall and slender figure appeared. He had 2 pairs of translucent wings. His face was handsome and evil, but he had 4 eyes. They were filled with demonic chi. He stared into the distance and did not move again. At this moment, the strongest sage kings of the 3 tribes were all alarmed. However, none of the saint kings took the initiative to act. In the era where the demon emperors did not appear and the true gods did not appear, the sage kings dominated. Every sage king's battle power was a move that affected the entire situation. Once the heavenly demon venerables of the demon race moved, the sage kings of the human race would also move immediately. The battle power of a sage king could crush everything in an ordinary sage. Even if it was just a moment, it could turn a large realm into ashes. At that time, whoever made the first move would be at a disadvantage. Whoever made the first move would have to pay the price in blood. The battle power of a sage king would always restrict each other. This was also why no matter how the 3 tribes fought, they would not easily send out sage kings. Once the sage kings started fighting, it would involve the problem of whether the battle power of both sides could continue to be maintained. Until the last moment, no one wanted to fall out with each other. Snowflake Sage King, you may be able to hold me back, but how can you hold back the sage kings of the other 3 tribes? A human with potential on the saint talent role will definitely be eliminated by the other 3 tribes. The demon venerables in the void laughed coldly and retreated back into the silent abyss. Outside the Sky Calamity Fiend prison, the 9-colored vortex was 10 times larger than before. It almost covered the entire Sky Calamity Fiend prison and affected the chaotic battlefield of the 3 tribes. Bang! 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 Kaboom! When the 9-colored vortex exploded for the last time, it finally stopped condensing and officially formed. The hearts of the 3 tribes' elites twitched. There were a total of 2,000 explosions. Inside the Sky Calamity Fiend prison, the 42 sage acupuncture points on his body shone with eternal light. Lin Chen opened his hands and looked at his palms with trembling eyes. He could feel the almost limitless sage power and could not help but murmur to himself. 2,000 times condensed. This time, I directly increased my sage power by 700 trillion dragon power. 700 trillion dragon power. If it was converted to the power of one sage, it was the power of one sage. And this was under the premise that the Tai Sky fueling technique and the Supreme God Possession Talent effect were not included. The unparalleled transformative realm, Lin Chen. This day was destined to be recorded in the history of the various tribes. The revolution was about to begin. A new page in the history of the sacred boundary was about to be opened. Chapter 15-17. At this moment, on the battlefield at the border of the demonic world, all the experts stopped fighting and were forced to stop. The explosion of the nine-colored holy light vortex that was expanding infinitely was not something they could easily withstand. Unless they were peak demon kings or heaven-opening realm experts, they had to leave the area covered by the nine-colored holy light vortex. 2,000 times? Nonsense. Has there ever been such a ridiculous achievement in the history of the sacred boundary? I don't dare to say that I've seen all the Saint Talent rankings, but from my experience there hasn't been one so far. It's impossible for a single condensation to have such a heaven-defying number of 2,000 times. If I remember correctly, the last time the Holy Infant was born, before it entered the Saint Talent rankings, its total condensation was only 2,080 times, right? A single condensation is almost the same as the total condensation on the Saint Talent rankings. What kind of monster is this? Is this guy who entered the demonic world really human? Everyone in the human camp was so shocked that they could not speak. No matter how powerful their experience and state of mind were, it was impossible to calm down at this moment. Exceeding the Saint Talent rankings in one condensation? Even novels would not dare to write this. What a joke. I know. Suddenly, a super genius came to a realization. All the experts looked at him, and even the experts of the dragon race could not help but look at him. This must be a conspiracy. Well, from a normal point of view, it's impossible for humans to enter the demonic world, let alone condensation. The demonic race must have deliberately used the chaotic battle just now as a disguise and then created an illusion similar to condensation. They thought we humans were on the first level, but we were actually on the 5th level. That super genius thought for a moment and said with certainty and determination, "Impossible." The red-haired old man sneered. "Don't waste your time." Not to mention how the demonic race faked this phenomenon, even the crown prince of the demonic race was fooled by those strange demons just now, and several peak demon kings died. What benefits did they get? Are they as surprised as we are? That super genius who asked the question was speechless. Indeed, his idea was full of loopholes. Rumble. At this moment, the nine-colored holy light vortex that covered the sky and the earth still did not stop. It was still expanding. All the experts felt their scalps go numb. Consecutively condensing 3 acupoints? Are you serious? With such a terrifying multiplier, consecutively condensing 2 acupoints was already inconceivable. It was an unparalleled feat, but there was actually a third time? Just how much did this Ning Shui's master accumulate? What kind of rare experience did he have to go through to have such a foundation? Wait! If the demons who entered after the Civil War were humans, that is to say, the red-haired old man and a few veteran First Revolution sages looked at each other. They had yet to break through the Devil World's borders, but there were humans appearing in the Devil World? What did this mean? Everyone suddenly felt a sense of horror shoot up from the soles of their feet to the top of their heads. Didn't that mean that the owner of this Ning cave came from the demon realm? It was terrifying to think about. One or a few saints, who might be in the expansion or condensation realm, had sneaked into the Devil World. How was that even possible? Even if it was a group of saint kings, they might not be able to do it. That was the desolate demon and devil world, where demon honorables were as common as clouds. It was the headquarters of one of the 4 great demon tribes. An unprecedented amount of information spread out as the experts pondered over it carefully. The experts of the 2 tribes were even more terrified. On the devil world side, while maintaining the defensive formation at the border, they immediately contacted more peak demon kings and demon honorables. With the devil prison as the center, all the demon honorables and peak demon kings in the desolate demon and devil world began to move. A storm, with the heaven calamity devil prison as the center, began to sweep across the firmament star field. Not only the desolate demon and devil world, but even the other 3 great demon tribes began to move. Inside the heaven calamity devil prison, Lin Chen's accumulation was unparalleled. It was more than enough to open 42 saint acupoints. Not to mention the heaven opening realm, even an ordinary saint heart realm cultivator could suppress a large number of expansion and condensation realm cultivators with just a finger. And Lin Chen was someone who had killed a large number of heaven opening realm cultivators when he was in the expansion realm. Not many people in the world could compare to this kind of accumulation. Every heaven-opening realm cultivator he killed was a peak existence in their respective tribes. So cool, Lin Chen. Hurry up and continue. Release all of your essence and scare those guys silly. Lin Ping and bared her white canine teeth and waved her fists excitedly. Her face was flushed red with excitement. She did not seem to notice that more and more disaster energy was beginning to gather. Moreover, her physique was automatically absorbing a large amount of disaster energy and refining it faster and faster. Lin Chen activated his mind energy and spread it throughout his body. He sensed the location of the 43rd Saint Acupoint and let out a deep breath. The 3rd Acupoint condensation corresponds to my 3rd Acupoint expansion. My 3rd Acupoint expansion is 1,100 times. Since I've broken through this time, there's no need to suppress it anymore. In one go, I'll reach the middle stage or even the late stage of the heaven-opening realm. The 43rd Saint Acupoint, open for me. Lin Chen's shoulders shook and he suddenly roared. Saint energy rose and fell like 1,000 planes, and in an instant, it surged into the 43rd Saint Acupoint. Chi. Peng. The momentum of this breakthrough was even fiercer than the previous 2 combined. Boom, boom, boom. The 9-colored holy light vortex was like a surging river of stars. It turned into a beautiful wheel of stars and expanded several times, covering most of the border of the devil world. This time, the acupoint condensation was like a hot knife through butter, and from the start, it rang 500 times. The super geniuses were forced to retreat again and again as they stared at the 9-colored disc. This scene was too magnificent. Lin Chen seemed to be using all his strength to condense the acupoint. This time, the acupoint condensation was extremely fierce and fast, and in an extremely short time, it rang out 1,000 times. In less than 15 minutes, it rang out another 2,000 times. More than 2,000 times. The hearts of many experts trembled. From now on, every time it rang out, it would be a moment of history. When the 9-colored vortex finally expanded to 100 times its initial size, the 3rd time it rang out 3,000 times, it finally stopped. Lin Chen exhaled a breath of Saint Qi, forming an energy storm that whistled through the universe. His aura swept through 3,000 miles, an array of saint light illuminated 10,000 miles. Lin Chen's eyes were filled with terrifying confidence. At this moment, with his saint energy cultivation, the heaven-opening realm was no longer a distant chasm. The 3rd acupoint condensation was 3,000 times. Just this acupoint condensation alone increased Lin Chen's saint energy by the equivalent of 1,650 trillion dragon energy. 1,650 venerable energy. It was not over yet. Lin Chen's Saint Acupoint was still surging with a vast amount of Saint Qi. Lin Chen's accumulation was beyond his imagination. However, Lin Chen's brows were tightly furrowed at this moment. Damn it, this is too fierce. Chapter 15:18. Sometimes, being too fierce wasn't necessarily a good thing. The more handsome a person was, the more they understood this principle. As for why Lin Chen was so fierce, it all started from when he picked up a book titled, My Cultivation Method Depends on X. This time, Lin Chen could condense his acupoints 3 times in a row and still have some to spare. But for the 4th time, he didn't have enough energy to do it. With his current foundation, the result of condensing the 4th time would be the same as condensing the 3rd time. He might not even be able to surpass the 3rd time. In the condensation transformation realm, every single saint point required a solid foundation and double the accumulation of experience. Lin Chen was stuck here. If it was the life and death realm, it would be fine. Every time he opened 2 saint points, he would gain double the amount of saint power. But the transformation realm was different. This kind of imperfect condensing wasn't what Lin Chen wanted. Slow rune. With a flip of his hand, the slow rune entered his saint body and sealed the saint power. Lin Chen sunk into a short period of contemplation. How could he reach the best state or perfection for the 4th time? Should I go out and kill another batch of peak stage demon kings to accumulate attribute points? No, that's not realistic. Peak stage demon kings aren't ants. Unless I ambush them and kill them with all my trump cards, my rune energy might not be able to last until then. Could it be that he really had to accept this kind of imperfect condensing? It would be great if there was a supreme grade saint pill that could help me break through the bottleneck. Lin Chen felt as if he was struck by lightning. Damn, handsome people tend to forget things. Didn't he have one? It was known as the strongest breakthrough pill in the sacred boundary, the strongest saint pill for breaking through bottlenecks, dreamless heartbreaker. Schwa. With a flip of Lin Chen's palm, the saint ring spun, and the red mist lingered. Inside the jade box was an azure saint pill. From the history of the sacred boundary, there has never been a transformation realm cultivator who could take a saint pill with such energy. Even if they did, they wouldn't be able to refine it. Even Chen Tiangang, who was known as one of the top 100 of the monstrous geniuses list, who had the lowest realm, only dared to refine the dreamless heartbreak pill after reaching the peak of life and death realm. Moreover, I'm only at the 8th realm. The corners of Lin Chen's mouth rose slightly. He had personally refined this item, so he was very clear on how much energy it contained. With Lin Chen's current cultivation, he had an 80% chance of refining it. Opening the jade box, Lin Chen opened his mouth and sucked in the saint pellet. The moment it entered his mouth, it melted, and energy rushed into Lin Chen's body like a vast ocean. The endless energy of the divine elixir pill caused Lin Chen to enter a state of complete relaxation. The surface of his saint body began to condense a layer of faint blue crystal. The energy of the saint elixir had even transformed into a substance, attaching itself to Lin Chen's body. Gradually, Lin Chen was condensed into a cocoon of light by the azure crystals, enveloping him within. Rumble! Rumble! Lin Chen's saint body glowed, and the sound of space and time shook. It was as if every inch of his flesh and blood was flowing with saint force. For half a day, there was no movement in the sky disaster demonic prison. However, all the experts knew that there was an even greater wave of acupoints condensation brewing. Rumble! 7 dark green demonic lights descended from the sky, as a group of figures stepped out. Their auras were as imposing as the sun, the moon, and the stars. They were grayish-white and looked like humans. Their bodies were covered in scales and sharp, and they were all dozens of feet tall. As soon as they arrived, they turned the world into the center of a storm of evil qi. The 7 destruction demonic demons greet the crown prince. The 7 demonic demons cupped their fists slightly to the Crown Prince in the sky. The Crown Prince frowned. This was the Heaven Fiend demon race outside of the desolate demon race. The human race is really bold. He came to the demonic realm just to condense his acupoints condensation. Ha! How do you desolate demon race do things? You let the human race sneak in. You're a disgrace to us high-level demons. This is the desolate demon border that is known as the most stable fortress of the demons? No way, no way. Just this level? I forgot that there was a Crown Prince here. Greetings, Crown Prince demonic demon race. Sorry for the disrespect. Another group of demons appeared. They were in a half-human state, standing on 2 feet. Some had manticores, tiger paws, whale heads, crocodile tails, but they were all incomplete. The only thing they had in common was that they were surrounded by blood chi. They looked like they had crawled out of a sea of blood and a mountain of corpses. There were 8 of them standing together. It was like a huge wave of blood chi swept across the sky. The experts of the dragon race and the human race couldn't help but take a few steps back. The Heaven Fiend demon race, the bloodthirsty demon race, and the desolate demon race. 3 of the 4 great demon races had come. They came too quickly. From sensing the acupoint condensation phenomenon to actually coming, the demonic realm, which was separated by countless planes, had crossed over in just 2 or 3 days. Also, they were all fierce people. More than half of the demon sovereigns were on par with second transformation saints. Fortunately, the demon sovereigns of the other 2 races didn't attack the experts of the human and dragon races. Otherwise, they would have suffered great losses today. There were many internal conflicts between them. They wouldn't easily be used by other races. They would only work together for extremely important matters or when the demon emperor summoned them. If you want to cause trouble, then get lost. Otherwise, work together to deal with this guy inside. Crown Prince demonic demon race finally spoke. A trace of ruthlessness flashed through his eyes. There were many conflicts between the demons too. Hearing the demon emperor's son speak, the demon sovereigns of the various races restrained themselves. When they looked at the Heaven Calamity demonic prison, they were quite shocked and serious. In the history of the various races, the demons had killed people on the Saint Talent rankings before. Back when some of them were saint babies who were powerful enough to shake the balance between the 3 races, the Devil Clan had once invaded the humankind and killed those saint babies who were still growing, regardless of the cost. They had even killed those who were listed on the Ultimate Saint Talent roll, even though the price was great. However, they had never seen such a terrifying phenomenon at the acupoint condensation stage. If we let this human grow, I'm afraid the demon realm will have another powerful enemy in the near future. Let's attack. The higher-ups have orders. We can't capture anyone alive if we can kill them. We'd rather kill 10,000 innocents than let one go. Even if we can't break in, it's not a problem to break his acupoint condensation stage. Let's work together and break his acupoint condensation stage from the inside. He's dreaming if he wants to succeed in the demon realm. Rumble. The desolate demon race had gathered 6 demon sovereigns, 7 demon sovereigns, and 8 bloodthirsty demon sovereigns. The aura of the 21 demon sovereigns overshadowed all the experts present. They were so powerful that they wanted to destroy the acupoint condensation stage phenomenon coming from the Heaven Calamity demonic prison. Oh no, Senior, should we go and help? A beautiful super genius with blue saint light flowing around him transmitted his voice to the red-haired saint. It's not realistic. We haven't even broken through the desolate demon race's border. Even if the dragon race is willing to attack with us, our chances of winning are slim. Plus, it's too late. The red-haired saint shook his head and sighed. This acupoint condensation stage monster is too weird. Why did he choose to do it in the demon realm? He can only rely on himself. Chapter 15-19. Rumble. At that moment, A torrential demonic aura covered the entire sky. All the light in the surroundings dimmed, and the sky seemed to have sunk into boundless darkness and bloody waves. All the demon supremacies attacked at the same time. That kind of power made the young super monsters feel what apocalypse was for the first time. A soul-deep fear rushed toward them. Bam! With a loud bang, the sky was torn apart. A hole was torn open in the calamity energy of the heavens' calamity fiend prison. The 9-colored holy light vortex in the sky was blasted into pieces. It's over. The red-haired old man sighed. Let's get ready to retreat. Our mission is complete. In half a day at most, the heavens' calamity fiend prison will return to its previous violent state. By then, the demon tribe won't be able to enter. When the red-haired old man waved his hand, a super monster suddenly exclaimed, "No, the phenomenon has been destroyed, but the acupoint hasn't been severed." Everyone looked over, and sure enough, the 9-colored vortex spun and expanded once again. What? The demon's supremacy's expressions changed. He withstood it? Impossible. A transformation realm cultivator can't possibly withstand the attacks of 21 demon supremacies. Something's wrong. Just as the dragon tribe powerhouses were stunned, a young and crisp voice came from the heavens calamity fiend prison. With me here, don't even think about touching a single hair on his head. Humph, I'll destroy all of you later. The young girl's voice sounded a little fierce, but it was too young. It sounded like a child's threat. Humph. Who are you, hiding your head and showing your tail? Come out. 10,000 blood demon burial hand. Heart-devouring lock. Without saying a word, the demon masters launched another round of attack. Their attacks shattered the heavens and the earth, and countless meteors were shattered one after another. However, all the attacks were like stones sinking into the sea when they entered the purplish-brown calamity energy vortex. The 9-colored holy light vortex was about to form again. The demon supremacies were dumbfounded. This acupoint sealer's helper was terrifyingly powerful. Lin Pingon had been absorbing a huge amount of calamity energy in the heavens calamity fiend prison during this period. His familiarity with the heavens calamity fiend prison increased rapidly. Although he couldn't wield it like an extension of his arm, he could still easily manipulate the calamity energy to defend himself against the demon supremacies. Outside the heaven calamity fiend prison. Should we charge in? Fight them to the death? Kill your ass. Putting aside the fact that the disastrous energy inside the heavens calamity fiend prison is harmful to us, the disastrous aura alone is enough to cut off all our senses. If we go in, we'll be in the dark, like a plate of loose sand, and be slaughtered by others. Motherf *Ker, according to you, we have to wait here? You bloodthirsty demons are really a bunch of cowards. Who are you calling a coward? Watch your words, you old dog. Why are you pretending to be a big shot? What's wrong? If you're not happy, why don't you come out and practice alone? The demon venerables argued fiercely, and not long later, old grudges erupted again. Crown Prince Mo Huang didn't say anything. Instead, he quietly watched the strange scene in the sky. It's too late, it's too late. He has already accumulated his power and is ready to strike. His acupoint condensation technique is already unstoppable. Just as demonic Crown Prince finished speaking, boom, boom, boom. Inside the 9-colored holy light vortex, endless saint power rippled and swirled into the galaxy, returning to the real body. Inside the heavens calamity fiend prison, Lin Chen suddenly opened his eyes. All his clones were absorbing all the medicinal power of the saint pellet at the same time. Sizzle! Crack! The energy crystal covering Lin Chen's body started to crack and shatter. The light cocoon covering Lin Chen's body started to shine brightly. Endless light swept across the entire fiend prison like a hurricane. All the medicinal power of the dreamless heart-shattering pellet turned into rolling saint power and poured into Lin Chen's 44th saint acupoint. There's no time more perfect than now. 44th Saint Acupoint, open. Lin Chen opened his eyes and his saint power burst out. His saint body suddenly shook, releasing all the suppressed top-tier essence energy. The endless saint power was like a divine dragon, and it violently opened the 44th Saint Acupoint. Bang! The 9-colored holy light vortex blasted away the raging energy waves, and it even pushed the 21 demon venerables back dozens of miles. All of them looked terrified. All the powerful cultivators were horrified. Within the 9-colored holy light vortex, there were 2,000 consecutive explosions. The power of the acupoint condensation was like a true dragon soaring into the sky, unstoppable. There were 3,000 consecutive explosions, and it still didn't stop. 3,500 times. The red-haired old man trembled. The red-haired old man trembled. Just how heaven-defying was this person? The 9-colored holy light vortex expanded infinitely, and it looked beautiful and magnificent. It was like a galaxy spinning under the starry sky, and endless mysteries were contained within. Rumble! A majestic aura faintly seeped out of the 9-colored holy light vortex, and it actually suppressed all the cultivation techniques of the super-powerful cultivators. All the powerful cultivators were horrified. What kind of cultivation technique is this? It actually used the power of the acupoint condensation to suppress their cultivation techniques. It was as if there was a mighty will that ruled over all living beings, and it was as powerful as the beings that didn't belong to this world. This aura just flashed by, and the 9-colored holy light vortex expanded to the highest level. When the last explosion of the holy light ended, the powerful cultivators of the human tribe, dragon tribe, and demon tribe couldn't calm down for a long time. A super-demon-level genius swallowed his saliva with great difficulty and exclaimed in shock. The 4th acupoint condensation. 4,500 times. Firmament star field, inside the star tower. All the sages, powerful cultivators, and old antiques were rooted to the spot in shock. The acupoint condensation, which had been full of ups and downs, had ended in such a way. 4,500 times. This number, even if it was the total number of acupoints condensation, was enough to surpass many sages on the Saint Talent board. However, this was only the multiplication of a single acupoint condensation. Inside the heaven's calamity demonic prison, Lin Chen floated in the air, and his saint body was as majestic as the starry sky, supporting the heavens and the earth. 44 hexagonal saint acupoints flashed all over his body, and they released an everlasting holy light. It was as if he could support the universe just by standing there. He took a deep breath and looked down at his palm, and he seemed to be intoxicated. The 4th acupoint condensation had increased his saint power by 3,150 trillion dragon power. Just the saint power of this acupoint alone was enough to compete with intermediate or advanced heaven-opening realm cultivators. After the 4th acupoint condensation, my saint acupoint cultivation has increased by 5,500 trillion dragon power. The moment Lin Chen clenched his fist, endless airwaves exploded in the heavens' calamity demonic prison, crushing thousands of realms. Originally, without taking into account his cultivation technique, his saint power's limit was only 157,565 trillion dragon power. However, without taking into account the Supreme God's possession and the Tai Skycan sealing mantra, his saint acupoint could unleash 5,600 supremacy power. When Lin Chen looked at his Tai Skycan sealing mantra, 44 hexagonal saint acupoints floated up, and his saint power was several times more powerful than Lin Chen's saint acupoints. At this moment, Lin Chen's lips curled into a smile. The demon tribe's crown prince was no longer out of reach. Using a crown prince of the demon race to practice and warm up seems like a good choice. Lin Chao snickered. From now on, the situation would be unpredictable. Chapter 1520. Using the Demon Crown Prince to practice? If the super geniuses outside knew what Lin Chen was thinking, they would probably vomit blood. Only he, Lin Chen, would be able to think of such a crazy idea. Lin Chen activated his cultivation method, and countless 9-colored holy clouds returned to his body. Lin Chen's holy body shone brightly, and he looked like an invincible god. At this moment, Lin Chen channeled his saint energy and blasted out a punch in an ordinary manner. Rumble! Bang! 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 Inside the demonic prison of heaven's calamity, there was the sound of a star disintegrating. Endless disastrous energy blasted out and distorted the light. Inside the demonic prison of heaven's calamity, hundreds of thousands of miles of space was shattered into a vacuum. This was an area that was 10,000 times stronger than the sacred boundary space. Wow! Lin Ping An's eyes twinkled. She clenched her fist and said excitedly, "Lin Chen, you can go out and destroy them? Too powerful." She knew that Lin Chen's strength was out of the ordinary. After condensing his acupoints, it was no small matter. But she never thought that he would be this strong. Lin Chen looked at his fist in shock. He could not believe it himself. Just by activating his holy power's lethality had exceeded 20,000 venerables. As expected of the two most important foundation stages of the saint stage, the condensing point and the expanding point. The stronger the foundation, the greater the leap in quality of each holy point that is opened. Lin Chen's battle intent raged, his arrogance overflowed, and the corners of his mouth curled into an evil arc. Without taking into account my cultivation method, my holy power's cultivation is comparable to 5,594 venerables. Including the Tai Sky technique's virtual holy point and the passive effect of the Supreme God possession, my holy power's maximum lethality can reach 27,970 venerables. Nearly 28,000 venerables lethality. What did that mean? One had to know that except for a few peerless geniuses and the saint talent rankings, ordinary heaven-opening stage cultivators could only increase their holy power by 400 venerables after opening a holy point. However, saint energy cultivation was cultivation, while actual combat strength was actual combat strength. Lin Chen's true combat strength had yet to be measured. There were too many factors that could affect the outcome of a battle between top Saint Realm experts. It wasn't a battle that could be won by just relying on strength alone. It was just like a battle between an augmenting cavern martial artist and a life and death martial artist. Even if both sides had the same level of saint power, it was still possible for the latter to win because the life force of a life and death martial artist was much stronger than an augmenting cavern martial artist. However, at the very least, Lin Chen had the ability to fight back. "Come, let's go out." Just as Lin Chen was about to bring Lin Ping An out, he suddenly had a flash of inspiration. Lin Chen's gaze landed deep inside the Heaven Calamity Fiend prison. "Ping An, can you take me in?" Lin Chen suddenly said. Lin Pingon nodded. "I can, but the energy in this area is becoming more and more violent. We have to hurry. If it becomes completely violent, not only will I not be able to absorb the energy here, I won't even be able to protect you." "Then let's go." The two of them flew straight into the depths. Lin Chen could vaguely feel that there was a strange energy body deep inside the Heaven Calamity Fiend prison. Otherwise, why would the demons charge in here without any regard for anything else? The Heaven Calamity Fiend prison seemed to be limited, but in reality, it was as if they were separated by several galaxies. Lin Chen put away his doppelganger. His doppelganger was still at the augmenting cavern martial artist level. The reason was simple. Lin Chen's doppelganger's cultivation wouldn't automatically synchronize with the highest level it had. If he wanted to break through to a new level, he would have to use the doppelganger rune again. Lin Chen activated his saint power and used the 9 wings of the heavenly demon to create a vacuum path. With his current cultivation, the 9 wings of the heavenly demon was ridiculously fast. It only took him a blink of an eye to cross the stars. In the depths of the heaven calamity fiend prison, a purple-brown astrolabe was slowly spinning. In reality, only someone at Lin Chen's level of spiritual perception could detect that the astrolabe that seemed to be spinning slowly was actually spinning at an extremely fast speed. Even light couldn't escape from the space within 10,000 miles. It was sucked into the dark black astrolabe at the center. Space was twisting and collapsing, and time seemed to have fallen into an eternity there. Is this a black hole? Before Lin Chen could exclaim at this scene, he found that Lin Ping and was standing there in a daze. Right above the purple-brown astrolabe, there was a dark black crystal floating. It was surrounded by black light and was about the size of a dragon's eye. Lin Chen released his spiritual perception with all his might. The more he sensed it, the more terrifying he found it to be. That feeling was like falling into a bottomless abyss. It was bone-chilling. His entire body, and even his spirit, felt like it was being torn apart. It was as if all the disasters in the mortal world were about to befall him. What a terrifying disaster energy! It's as if it's the source of all the suffering and disasters in the mortal world. Lin Chen was shocked. His pupils shrank. He had only felt this feeling from Lin Ping'an. It was a disaster of pain. It failed. Lin Ping'an lowered his head. His eyes flickered. No one knew what he was thinking as he muttered to himself. It seems to be a calamity of pain from a few generations ago. It has existed for a very long time, even longer than me. It was surrounded and killed. Even after it died, endless amounts of calamity aura continued to attach itself to its will and form this thing. Lin Chen asked, "Does it still have consciousness?" Lin Ping'an shook his head. "It only has a tiny bit of consciousness left. It no longer has its previous intelligence. This is its final form after its energy materializes. It seems to want to leave with me." Lin Chen asked again, "Can you control it? This thing is no joke. How are you going to preserve it after you take it away?" "It won't hurt me. I can feel that it's asking me for help. It wants to leave this world completely. Moreover, I can seal it and then absorb it." Lin Chen thought for a moment. "Then," he said seriously, "help me disperse these disasters, and I'll go take it away. However, after you seal it, give it to me for safekeeping. I can only let you absorb it after I confirm that it's not dangerous to you." Lin Chen brought Lin Ping'an out of the holy prison so that she could obtain power and choose to live as a mortal. After absorbing this thing, Lin Ping'an's strength might increase greatly. However, Lin Chen had to ensure that she was absolutely safe before letting her touch it. "All right. I'll listen to you." Lin Ping'an revealed her canine teeth. Seeing the serious expression on Lin Chen's face, she felt a warm feeling in her heart. Nizi waved her hand, and the disasters on both sides receded like the tide. Lin Chen immediately reached out and clenched his hand. The gigantic hand of holy light, swirling with 9 different colors, swiftly reached out and grabbed the dark calamity crystal in the air. Then, it mustered up all its strength and pulled it toward itself. If it weren't for the fact that his cultivation had increased, Lin Chen wouldn't have been able to grab the dark disaster crystal core with his holy power. Lin Ping'an tapped her forehead. A faint purple halo of light enveloped the dark disaster crystal core, and its violent energy began to slowly calm down. "All right, it's done." Lin Ping'an obediently returned it to Lin Chen. He even personally placed several holy power seals on it. After confirming that it wouldn't go on a rampage, he tossed it into the 4 Seasons plant pouch. "All right, let's go." Before Lin Chen could finish his sentence, his pupils suddenly contracted. In the instant that he placed the sealed dark disaster crystal core into the 4 Seasons plant pouch, he discovered something strange. 4 crimson ribbons fluttered in the air. They were actually glowing with a faint red divine light, as if they had sensed something. Gasp! Lin Chen drew a sharp breath. He turned toward the center of the demonic prison of heaven's calamity. The purplish-brown wheel seemed to be hiding some kind of mystery within the boundless darkness. F***ck, it can't be, the divine crimson ribbons were reacting to the demonic prison of heaven's calamity. Chapter 15:21. Ever since the day I obtained the divine scarlet ribbon, there has never been such a phenomenon. Lin Chen's heart was unable to calm down for a long time. The clear sky sage king had chased after him for this item. Lin Xingchen had barged into the boundary tower and challenged all the experts to kill him. He wanted to snatch this item. And the divine scarlet ribbon seemed to be one of the reasons for the great war of the 9 clans. What kind of treasure was this? Lin Chen had never bothered to think about the secrets it was hiding, because it was too far away from his level. But now, the divine scarlet ribbon actually reacted. Without a doubt, the divine scarlet ribbon sensed the space-time black hole in the center of the heaven's calamity devil prison. If I go in, will I be able to unravel its secret? Lin Chen's heartbeat quickened. For this item to be the reason for the great war of the 9 clans, the secret it hid might be earth-shattering. If Lin Chen obtained it, he might really soar to the sky. With such a huge fortuitous encounter in front of him, Lin Chen could not help but be moved. With my current strength, I can definitely protect myself if I enter the black hole. Lin Chen floated in the air. Lin Ping and looked at him doubtfully. After a while, Lin Chen turned around and left resolutely. He waved his hand and smiled. Let's go, little girl. We're going out. Lin Ping and looked at Lin Chen doubtfully and smiled. Okay. Perhaps Lin Chen's current cultivation level had skyrocketed and his strength could not be compared to the past, but this did not mean that he was invincible. It also did not mean that he could be arrogant. With Lin Chen's current strength, compared to the Great War of the 9 clans, it was just so. Not to mention, the scarlet divine sash he possessed was incomplete when pieced together. Lin Chen did not care about life and death and dared to fight. When it was time to be tough, he would not be soft. But it did not mean that he was going to die. Under such circumstances, trying to pry into this kind of shocking secret was no different from stretching one's head to the guillotine. Even if I don't have the Crimson God Damask, with just the Tai Sky technique and the War God set, I believe that I will be able to stand at the peak of the sacred boundary one day. Gambling my life for a completely unknown opportunity is not my style. Before Lin Chen left, he took a deep look at the center of the Heaven Calamity Devil Prison. One day, perhaps he would be able to unravel the secrets of this place. But now was definitely not the time. Now, it's time to go out and settle the interest with these demons. Lin Chen stretched lazily, and holy power fluctuations that could sweep across 3,000 existential planes burst forth from his body. It just so happens that I've placed the innate 5 elements essence in the ultra spacetime bitwall, which consumed a lot of my talent points. Now, I don't even have enough talent points to teleport back to Kyushu. Let's go out and kill a few demons to collect some attribute points. Boom. Lin Chen took a step forward, teleporting through the void. Outside the Heaven Calamity Fiend prison, the various experts looked at each other, their eyes filled with confusion. There's no movement? Could it be that the acupoint condensation failed? Did he die in there? Impossible. The life force of a 4th acupoint condensation is at the peak of perfection, and he's like the sun in the sky. He condensed acupoints 4,500 times in a row, which is shocking. There's no possibility of him dying in the middle. Could it be that he escaped when none of us could sense him? We can't rule out this possibility. Since this kid can sneak into the demon realm, it means that we might not be able to see through his disguise, just as the various experts were in a deadlock and discussing animatedly. A wave of calamity aura was torn apart. A tall and slender figure slowly stepped out, followed by a short-legged demon who also looked like a demon. Everyone was shocked. He appeared. This kid didn't die. All the experts carefully sized him up. He had a rising demonic aura all over his body, and he looked like a young man with a green dragon mark on his face. He was somewhat similar to the green demon tribe of the wilderness demon tribe. When facing all the devils, she was actually smiling like a rose. It's been hard on all of you to come all the way here to be killed by me. Thank you very much. Come, let me see which iron-headed demon wants to be the first to die. When the young man smiled, all the demons were stunned and instantly became furious. F***ck, where did you get your confidence from? Don't move. At this moment, the first demon to speak was the demonic crown prince. He slowly stepped out, and a ferocious and cruel smile appeared on his devilishly handsome face. Human, I have to say that your disguise is very good. Even I couldn't see through it. However, you won't have any chance this time. No matter how strong you are at the acupoint condensation stage, no matter how bright your future is, you'll still be a dead soul under my hands. With a boom, bright red flames burned above the demonic crown prince's head. Hiss! All the demon lords completely gasped, and their faces were filled with fear as they all retreated. Boom! 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 The endless pressure was like the demonic emperor himself. It was supreme, domineering, and pure. It suppressed the entire world and swept across the universe. At this moment, it was as if time and space had stopped. This supreme demonic might was like 1,000 layers of planes suppressing the bloodline of all demons. If they were too close to the demonic crown prince, they wouldn't even be able to use half of their power. The demonic emperor bloodline. The crown prince used the demonic emperor bloodline. This kid is dead for sure. Once the demonic emperor bloodline is used, the crown prince can kill all the demon lords. The demons were shocked and shocked. The humans were even more shocked and sighed. Once the demonic crown prince activated the demonic emperor bloodline, it meant that he was serious. That's right. Just like Lin Chen's divine dragon Taishi divine light, it was a peerless skill that could only be used by activating the divine dragon bloodline. However, the demonic crown prince didn't even use his full strength just now, and he had already shattered Lin Chen's Taishi divine light. This didn't mean that Lin Chen's divine dragon bloodline was inferior to the demonic emperor bloodline. It was just that the difference between the two was the cultivation accumulated over time. Now that he used the demonic emperor bloodline, the demonic crown prince's power was on a completely different level than before. Chi. The demonic emperor bloodline burned fiercely, turning into a bright red blood flame that enveloped the demonic crown prince. He was like a demon god that had descended to the world. Previously, the demonic crown prince had to use the demonic emperor bloodline to take down a wild demon of unknown origin because of his status. Wasn't this like proving to the demons that the son of the demonic emperor was inferior to a wild demon? He couldn't abandon this status at all. However, the potential that Lin Chen had shown now was enough for him to use his true strength. If he didn't kill this kid, he would create a strong enemy for the demonic realm in the future. 4,500 times condensing. If I can let you grow, you will definitely be a peerless genius in the history of the human race. You are worth dying in my hands. One move. This prince can make you hover between life and death. I will let you know that potential and combat power are not the same thing. The demonic crown prince suddenly reached out with a palm. Even the demon lord couldn't see it clearly. Lin Chen sneered. So much nonsense. The moment Lin Chen activated his Heart Sutra, Lin Chen slammed his fist forward. Chi. Bang. A mushroom cloud as large as a galaxy rose up. The entire desolate land's boundary tilted. The demonic crown prince quickly retreated, actually retreating 10 steps. Lin Chen's figure retreated more than 10 steps, shattering the void. He was safe and sound. At this moment, the experts of the three races fell into a strange silence. What? The super geniuses almost thought that their eyes were playing tricks on them. I have presbyopia at such a young age? Are you serious? A condensation realm took a palm from the demonic crown prince. Lin Chen was actually able to receive the demonic brilliant crown prince's heaven-toppling strike with just his transformation realm cultivation. The demonic crown prince stared at Lin Chen, muttering to himself in disbelief. You are not only condensing thousands of times. Lin Chen sneered. The show has just begun, demonic crown prince. Chapter 1522. Not only were the humans dumbfounded, but even the dragon race and the demon race were shocked. What kind of joke was this? If the opponent was on the Saint Talent list, they wouldn't be surprised at all if he could fight with the demonic brilliant crown prince. According to the rumors of the humans in the desolate lands, the opponent was also on the Saint Talent list. But the problem was that this was a transformation realm. Which transformation realm human could be on the Saint Talent list? It was impossible. No. The red-haired saint thought of some possibilities, and his hair stood on end. This kid's total meridian condensation multiplier is far more than 10,700 times. All the human experts were terrified when they thought about it. That's right, if the total meridian condensation multiplier was only 10,700 times, even if he expanded his meridian, he should only have a few hundred Zune force at most. Previously, he fought with the demon crown prince with pure strength. Then what was he relying on now? His saint power cultivation was 2F** King Strange. What realm was he at? Where did this guy who pretended to be a demon come from? Boom! Lin Chen clenched his fist, and the demon slayer battle spear appeared out of thin air. The crimson aura seemed to pierce the sky. All the humans were shocked. It was actually an 8th grade sacred artifact. Good lord, where did this kid come from? An 8th grade sacred artifact. Only a few 5th Revolution saints or Saint Talent list have it. When a sacred artifact reaches the 8th grade, every one of them is a legendary weapon. As for 9th grade sacred artifacts, only 9th Revolution saints and saint kings can have them. The super monsters exclaimed. Lin Chen's Demon Slayer Battle Spear could extract top-tier Saint Demon crystals and absorb the lifetime energy of the demons to grow. This was the masterpiece of the two blacksmiths. He snapped his fingers. From now on, I'm not targeting any of you demons. I just want to hammer all of you demons to death. How arrogant. I'll kill you today. The demonic brilliant crown prince clenched his fist, and a python-like blood energy swirled in his palm, turning into a blood blade that could split the sky. The blood blade was covered with shocking bloodlines. It was 10 meters long, and there was a dark red claw mark on the blade. It looked like an ancient blood demon was sealed in it. Demonic Brilliance Godblade? This is Lord Devil Emperor's divine ability. Run. The Crown Prince is going all out. Even someone as strong as the demon Venerables couldn't help but be shocked. Holding the Demonic Brilliance Bloodblade, the Demonic Brilliance Crown Prince slashed across the sky. The tip of the blade flashed and a blood light split the sky. Dance of the True Dragon. Lin Chen spun with one hand and the spear spun like a flywheel. Millions of saint power transformed into dragon chi, and with a clang, it stirred up the blood chi that filled the sky. It was like a heavenly maiden scattering flowers, and it exploded across the horizon. Endless flashes of bloody light shot towards Lin Chen like snowflakes. Lin Chen handled the situation with ease. As the corners of his lips curled up, he swung the Holy Demon Slayer's spear with both hands, unleashing 1,000 strikes in an instant. The chaotic 9-colored draconic chi destroyed all of the incoming blood rays. Clang! Clang! Bang bang bang! A series of starburst-like explosions erupted, as if a destructive energy storm was blooming, engulfing the entire border of the demon territory, directly tearing apart the space barrier. However, the 4 super geniuses ranked in the top 200 had sharper eyes than the other geniuses. When they saw the situation of the battle, their pupils shrank. As Lin Chun swung the spear with both hands, he activated his Saint power to defend himself. He used a purple gold soft armor condensed by Saint power. Occasionally, he put his hand into his pocket and flicked his finger, shooting a few wanderer fruits into his mouth. He easily chewed them into his stomach with a relaxed expression. He's eating a pill? No. He's not injured at all. He's eating a wanderer fruit. Is he crazy? He's fighting the crown prince of the demon race at full power, and he dares to eat? The 4 geniuses were dumbfounded. Was this King serious? A transformation realm cultivator dared to eat snacks while fighting the crown prince of the demon race? The next moment, Lin Chen even took out a pair of black sunglasses from his pocket and put them on. That calm and composed attitude of facing the crown prince of the demon race made the 4 geniuses' scalps tingle. Damn, you dare to look down on this crown prince. Blood Emperor teleportation technique. The crown prince stepped on a burning dark red demon chi and disappeared in an instant. He traveled through the void and appeared behind Lin Chen as if he had teleported. His expression was ferocious, and his battle intent was wild. The Demon King's bloodline was burning to the extreme. The endless pressure was like thunder, trying to suppress Lin Chen. He held the sword with both hands and cut Lin Chen's head across the waist. Whoosh! Whoosh! The tip of the sword flashed with bloody light and cut Lin Chen into pieces, leaving only a pair of sunglasses that were crushed into nothingness. An afterimage? What? When the crown prince's expression changed, a figure with 9 demon wings, holding a spear with red light surging around it, quickly changed into a spear wheel and smashed down furiously. Whoosh! Bang! The space between the 2 sides exploded, and the crown prince kept retreating. This was the first time he had been beaten back by Lin Chen? Crown Prince Mo Huang seemed to have lost his mind. His shoulders shivered as the blood saber flashed and slashed hundreds of times. The blood demon shadows that filled the sky with him as the center rose up like a rising tide and attacked Lin Chen. All the human geniuses' expressions changed drastically. This move was the one that the Crown Prince had used to crush their sky demon avatars in one move. But when the Crown Prince, who had activated the Demon King's bloodline, used this move, its power was more than 10 times stronger. Lin Chen could be said to be at ease. His 5 fingers touched his waist, and his 5 fingers grasped 3 sharp flying knives with holy light flowing around them. The tips of the knives flashed with blade light. Lin Chen gathered all his saint power and suddenly threw them out. Instant light split shadow, lotus dance. Clang. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The flying knives pierced through the air, and the lotus shadows blotted out the sky. The blade light flashed wildly like a storm, hitting the Crown Prince's sky demon avatars head-on. An unprecedented wave of energy surged like 2 vast galaxies colliding. A series of terrifying explosions occurred, and each explosion was enough to kill an early-stage sky-opening realm cultivator. The human and the demon fought earth-shattering battle. The 2 sides fought from the desolate demon and demon world border to the outside, and then they fought into the firmament star area, crushing countless meteors. Then they fought again. The endless attacks were like auroras that shuttled through the mortal world. Every time they collided, an apocalyptic energy shockwave would be set off. They were so fast that not many below the complete sky-opening realm could see them clearly. The Crown Prince waved his hands, and layers of blade light flashed wildly like peerless blades. What was more terrifying was that his blade technique was mixed with other demon races' unique skills. Deadly Shura Hand. 9-fold burning sky palm. 2 giant palms appeared in the blade light and spear shadows. One palm killed life and death, the other burned the sky with holy flames. They crashed together. Finger of Hell. Wind demon killing sacred finger. 2 more aurora-like finger beams tore through the void, exploding this star field. The experts of the various races were forced to retreat again and again, their faces full of shock. Is this really a transformative realm human? Impossible. A transformative realm cultivator is at most a powerful saint power. How can his reaction speed and saint body's recovery speed keep up with the crown prince of the demon race? Am I crazy or is the world crazy? The experts of the 3 races were overturned again and again. They realized that no common sense in the world was suitable for this guy who pretended to be a demon. Motherf ** Kerr, such a heaven-defying existence, they really wanted to know, who was this guy? Chapter 1523. The Man and the Demon unleashed unprecedented skills. Every move was earth-shattering, stirring up the clouds and changing the color of the sky. This battle was already infinitely close to the level of the Saint Talent ranking. As long as they were given enough time, it wouldn't be a problem for them to reach the height of the Talent Saint list. The demonic brilliant Crown Prince was a rising star in the desolate demon and demonic realm. He had only risen in the last 100 years. Strictly speaking, there was a slight difference between him and the Human Talent Saint list. That was why he had always wanted to challenge the Human Talent Saint list himself. That was why he decided to come to the Firmament Star Field. The demon sovereigns were so shocked that their hearts trembled. They knew very well what it meant to be able to fight a demon crown prince without any restrictions. In terms of combat power, the demon sovereigns were no weaker than the demonic brilliant crown prince. But the problem was the bloodline grade and life level. No matter how strong a tiger was, it was still a tiger. No matter how weak a true dragon was, it was still a true dragon. Just like the Human Talent Saint list's holy infant, the Demon Emperor's bloodline was the same. It had a great suppressive effect on all living things. Any descendant who had reached the immortal realm had a bloodline advantage that could suppress countless living things in the mortal world. If the demon sovereigns were to face the demonic brilliant crown prince who had activated his bloodline, they would be completely suppressed by the bloodline aura within a certain range. They wouldn't even be able to use 30 to 40% of their strength. Not only the demon sovereigns, but also the human race and the dragon race. However, seeing Lin Chen wearing a pair of sunglasses again, the demon sovereigns felt their scalps tingle. This kid acted as if nothing had happened. He was calmly facing the demonic brilliant crown prince's demon emperor aura. What kind of deity was this? Not to mention that Lin Chen's willpower was unbelievably strong. With the Tai Sky Fu technique, Lin Chen could withstand the aura of the demon emperor. He wasn't even afraid of the demon emperor's aura, so why would he be afraid of the demon emperor's son? Lin Chen, go. Lin Chen, go. Crush him. Hit him with all your might. Lin Ping and was cheering for Lin Chen from the side with all his might. The demon sovereigns looked at each other and transmitted their voices. The crown prince won't be able to take this kid down in a short time. We'll help the crown prince later. Let's take down his accomplices first. That's right. As long as we fight a protracted battle, our clan will definitely win. This will always be our territory. Recently, his meridian condensation phenomenon must have alarmed the upper echelons. It won't be long before even more demon sovereigns arrive. As long as we can delay him, we will win. After making up their minds, all the demon venerables stepped into the air and headed straight for Lin Ping'an. Lin Chen was right. They will definitely come for me. Lin Ping'an wrinkled her nose, revealing her white canine teeth. Then it's my turn to blow them all up. Lin Ping'an rubbed her fists and was about to make a move when 3 figures stood in front of her and smiled. Wait a minute, lass. You and my doppelganger work together. As long as one of our doppelganger breaks through, it'll be enough to deal a heavy blow to the devil race. Lin Chen's avatar smiled. This was the perfect timing. In order to prepare for this battle, Lin Chen had stopped refining pills in advance for all his doppelgangers in the sacred boundary. Then, Lin Chen's doppelgangers all formed hand seals. Demon King Reincarnation Technique. Phantom Rune, activate again. Rumble. Whoosh. Whoosh. At this moment, Lin Chen's phantom doppelgangers in the sacred boundary suddenly disappeared. Outside the Heaven's Calamity Fiend prison, divine light descended from the sky. The divine light flowed, and many slender figures stepped out. Host has activated the phantom rune again. Host's current cultivation level has been synchronized. 9 million top-grade runes have been consumed. Lin Chen's rune energy was almost depleted. He only had about 7 million rune energy left. His phantom rune would consume rune energy according to the host's cultivation level. The stronger the host's cultivation level, the more rune energy would be consumed. Lin Chen did not directly teleport his doppelgangers over through the beyond space-time dimension. His talent points were not enough to teleport 3 doppelgangers. He directly removed the doppelgangers in the sacred boundary and used the phantom rune again. The result was that all 6 of Lin Chen's doppelgangers had arrived. The moment the doppelgangers appeared, all the demon venerables arrived at almost the same time. Lin Chen's 6 doppelgangers were like gods descending from the heavens. They shook the sky, and 9 holy lights that could sweep away the sun, moon, and stars shot up into the sky. They were either standing with swords, carrying blue bows, or stepping on air with swords. All of them were extraordinarily handsome. All of Lin Chen's phantom doppelgangers faced all the demon venerables and attacked with all their might. Host has activated instant light split shadows and annihilation multiple times at the same time. 300 million top-grade talent points have been consumed. 9-layered burning sky palm. God's tears. Purple light star shattering. Billions of starlight. Wind demon perishing sacred finger. Lotus dance. Rumble. His attack was shocking. The tide-like lotus saber aura flashed wildly. Immediately after, another saber aura that spanned across the galaxy rapidly spun out. As the saber aura spun, it trembled slightly. The saber aura split into 5 and suddenly exploded, turning into countless saber aura fragments that ruthlessly twisted toward all the demon venerables. 5 purple light arrows turned into rainbows, piercing through the 4 demon venerables' attacks and even forcing them back. When the wind demon aura that had split into 5 pierced through the 5 demon venerables' attacks, it tore open a shocking wound on their bodies, causing them to vomit blood on the spot. The sword light flashed with the dazzling light of billions of stars. It was incomparably dazzling. One sword cut through the 9 heavens, one sword cut through the group of demons. Bang, bang, bang. The group of demons fell, each of them suffering different degrees of injuries. Demon blood splattered across the sky, shocking the experts of the human and dragon races. The demon venerables were injured, and there were a large number of attribute light balls left in the void. Lin Chen's sacred dragon quietly took them away. Chi. Bang. Lin Chen's main body was enhanced by the war god armor. When he knocked away the demonic crown prince's blood blade with his spear, he suddenly punched the demonic crown prince's chest violently. The demonic crown prince's demonic bones broke, and he spat out blood and flew back rapidly. At this moment, Lin Chen floated in the air. His silver robe fluttered without wind. He looked down on all living beings and the star field. No one could stop him. Such a scene completely shocked all the experts of the human race. One person fighting against a group of demons alone. He forced the demonic crown prince to retreat. A god has descended to the mortal world. A super beauty couldn't help but clamp her legs together, her green eyes shining. In this world, there was actually such a transcendent saint. He was so strong that it was unreasonable. This was Lin Chen's foundation. The war god armor was always his trump card. In terms of combat strength, as long as his cultivation increased, his cultivation foundation would shine brightly. Human race. If I want you to die, you will definitely die. The demonic crown prince's expression was so vicious that it was terrifying. Just as he was about to wield the demonic blood blade again, however, the corners of Lin Chen's mouth rose crazily. He raised his hand and snapped his fingers. Super chaos. Bah! When the snap echoed, there was a tearing sound. All the demon venerables' demonic blood spurted out. Their injuries couldn't be stopped. Not only that, even their consciousness and demonic bodies were in different degrees of chaos. They immediately felt that the world was spinning, as if space was constantly spinning. They almost couldn't stand still. Lin Ping An's eyes shone like stars. Wow, this move is so powerful. I want to learn it. Chapter 1524. Is this guy still human? Someone as powerful as him can actually create 6 doppelgangers? Fake, it's too fake. He's so strong that it's like he's fake. Logically speaking, I don't think that our human race can produce such a heaven-defying genius. Think about it, if he reaches the star-receiving realm and the sacred heart realm, who in this sacred boundary can stop him? While the human race's super monsters were stunned. Rumble! Lin Chen's clones moved, and the 9 wings of the heavenly demon charged directly towards the demon venerables. If Lin Chen's 6 clones only had the strength on the surface, it would not be enough to threaten the 21 demon venerables. They were comparable to more than a dozen First Revolution sages, and a few of them were Second Revolution sages. However, Lin Chen's instant light split shadows combined with extinction split creation, these 2 super strong offensive talents were simply insane. These 2 great talents seemed to have grown together with Lin Chen's growth. For a moment, Lin Chen's clones were collecting attribute light balls while attacking the demon venerables. The demon sovereigns, who were in a state of super chaos, were caught off guard by Lin Chen's doppelgangers, who were constantly unleashing instant light and shadow clone. What's going on? My injuries can't be healed by the bloodthirst technique? Strange, this is too strange. This kid's methods are strange. I can't even heal the injuries of a transformative realm cultivator? The demon venerables were attacked fiercely, and their scalps were numb. This was the most frustrating battle they had ever fought. Not only could they not recover from their injuries, but even their consciousness was blurry. The demon venerable's consciousness was blurry and chaotic. This was a very terrifying thing. One had to know that the biggest difference between demon venerables and First Revolution sages and above and heaven-opening realm sages was the sublimation of their battle consciousness and technique. However, this absolute advantage was now half suppressed by Lin Chen. The Sacred Heart realm maximized the vitality of living beings, but Lin Chen had the extinction split creation talent, which restrained them completely. Lin Chen's super chaos talent could suppress more than half of their 1 instant 1,000 thoughts battle consciousness. It could be said that Lin Chen had suppressed the Sage Realm's strength transformation by 2 major domains. This foreshadowing was buried really deep. Very good. I didn't expect the super chaotic innate skill to have such a miraculous effect on the Demon Lord. I've changed my mind. Lin Chen's eyes shone with an ominous glint. Originally, he only wanted to kill a group of peak holy demon kings, accumulate enough attribute points, and then leave. Good heavens, the current demon venerable's strength had been suppressed by nearly half. At most, he was only comparable to the peak of the heaven opening stage. He was weaker than the majority of First Revolution saints. This kind of suppression was even more abnormal than any powerful slowing rune. If he didn't do it now, when would he? Kill these demon sovereigns. The 6 doppelgangers attacked wildly. Among the demon venerables, only the few veteran demon venerables who were comparable to Second Revolution saints could suppress Lin Chen's doppelgangers. Kaboom! Lin Chen's true body created a shockwave and traveled through the void. The heavenly demon's 9 wings furiously flapped as he stepped into the air and charged toward the 3 demon venerables closest to him. Trying to ambush me? Demonic Brilliant Crown Prince stepped into the air and moved the stars. Just as he was about to stop Lin Chen, a jade-white fist carried the aura of disaster as it crushed 1,000 layers of planes and knocked Demonic Brilliant Crown Prince back. What? Demonic Brilliant Crown Prince gritted his teeth and turned around. Lin Ping and clenched his fists and chuckled. You've changed midway, Dumbo. Others might be afraid of your demon emperor bloodline, but I'm not. Lin Ping and didn't say anything else. He swung his fists and beat Demonic Brilliant Crown Prince violently. Endless poisonous dragons roamed the sky and crazily crushed Demonic Brilliant Crown Prince in all directions, sealing off his escape route. After absorbing the disaster aura of the demonic prison of disaster, Lin Ping An's cultivation was close to that of a third revolution saint. Seeing that he had to deal with Lin Ping An, who was even more difficult to deal with than Lin Chen, Demonic Brilliant Crown Prince didn't have the chance to be distracted. He could only use more killer moves to defend himself. He was so frustrated that he almost vomited blood. In the past, he relied on his demon emperor bloodline to dominate the demonic realm. But today, he was defeated again and again. He was so angry. What kind of monsters were these guys? The two sides exchanged opponents in an instant. Lin Chen arrived beside the 4 injured demon venerables. Clang! Lin Chen didn't use his spear. He used his fastest and most powerful attack. He swung Absolute Blaze at close range and pulled out God's Tear. Explode! Lin Chen shouted coldly and used Flash Shadow. Bam! 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 5 snow-white saber auras exploded, turning into a storm of saber aura fragments, scattering and twisting like fragmented light. The injured demon venerables sucked in cold breaths. Damn it, this kid is crazy. How can he fight like this? Using such a huge area of effect and super explosive attack at such close range, isn't he afraid that he will be killed? Tai Shi Divine Light, Golden Jade Clothes. A reddish-gold halo instantly surged around Lin Chen. His body was covered in a layer of faint golden light. Lin Chen instantly activated his absolute defense and his intermediate orange defense technique, Golden Jade Clothes, to resist his God's Tear. With Lin Chen's current cultivation, the scene of him executing God's Tear was sufficient to crush a stellar region into pieces. As long as Lin Chen swung his sword, stars would fall and the world would be destroyed. Every sword energy fragment was enough to cut a continent. Countless sword energy fragments mixed with mental power fragments, and saint power fragments almost instantly twisted the 4 demon venerables into the center of the sword energy fragment vortex. They didn't even have the chance to travel through the void. Their demonic chi defenses were pierced again and again. Their demon venerables were bleeding profusely. The most terrifying thing was that they couldn't heal themselves. Sluggish Rune. Lin Chen directly used all the runes to form the Sluggish Rune. The Sluggish Rune and Super Chaos Rune caused the 4 demon venerables to fall into a state of confusion and stagnation. It was close to a dead end. Oh no! Break free! This kid must be planning something. Let's do our best to break free. The 4 demon venerables had been through countless battles. As soon as they saw Lin Chen's attack, they immediately knew what this kid was planning to do. He must be planning something big. They must not let him succeed. Chi. The blood of the 3 demon venerables quickly dried up and receded like the tide. They consumed their own blood essence and burned their lifespan as the price. Their demonic chi soared into the sky and they all wanted to break free. Demon venerables, it's too late. Before you die, you will see the most beautiful scene in this world. Lin Chen's palm was spinning with 9 different colors of starlight. 9 tribulation star. His elemental attributes had skyrocketed, and his saint energy had reached the level of 28,000 venerables. This 9 tribulations star, together with the instant light clone technique, was truly a heaven-toppling attack. Lin Chen raised his hand and swung it. The 9-colored starlight turned into the most beautiful meteor in the world and fell from the sky. Boom! The meteor pierced through the sky and exploded around the 4 demon venerables. 5 9-colored light pillars bloomed between heaven and earth. They were at least 10 million feet long and 10 million feet wide. They spun and flashed with 9 different colors of starlight. They were dazzling and radiant, and they silently released an aura of destruction. At this moment, all the powerhouses who witnessed this scene felt a chill run down their spines from the bottom of their feet to the top of their heads. It was a ghastly sight. Even if a second cycle sage was hit by this attack, he would definitely die. There was no earth-shattering explosion. There was only the dazzling 9-colored starlight. After a long time, when the light disappeared, 4 huge demon venerables were suspended in the void. They were dead. The demon venerables trembled violently. Dead? The 4 of them died just like that? The demon venerables were shocked, but Lin Chen was not. He activated his body movement technique and rushed forward. He rushed into the pile of attribute light balls and directly grabbed the 4 orange-yellow attribute treasure chests in the air. These 4 attribute treasure chests meant that Lin Chen was 5 ranks higher than him. They were drops from killing the demon venerables with his own hands. What kind of attributes would they drop? When Lin Chen opened the first orange-yellow attribute treasure chest. Host has opened an exclusive attribute treasure chest. Host has received a one-time orange-grade talent, ultimate heaven-defying talent. Lin Chen felt like he was struck by lightning. Ultimate heaven-defying talent? What kind of talent is this? Chapter 1525. Lin Chen was both surprised and confused. Wasn't this talent the same as the heaven-defying talent? However, when he noticed the second half of the talent description, he sucked in a breath of cold air. Applicable range? Below the immortal state? Including true gods? Lin Chen was dumbfounded. It was different from the heaven-defying talent. The heaven-defying talent was only applicable to the heaven-opening realm, but the ultimate heaven-defying talent was applicable to the immortal state. Didn't this mean that as long as the conditions were met, he would have another talent that could kill gods? Host has opened the talent exclusive attribute treasure chest. You have received a one-time orange talent, God Slayer. Host has opened the talent exclusive attribute treasure chest. You have received a mid-level orange talent, Destructive Explosion. All hostile attacks have a 10% chance of penetrating one layer of the enemy's defense and causing a destructive explosion. Destructive Explosion is applicable to all types of attacks, including spirit, pure strength, holy power, etc. Lin Chen opened another 2 attribute treasure chests. It could be said that he was pleasantly surprised again and again. This made Lin Chen go wild with joy. A demon venerable was a demon venerable after all. None of the attribute treasure chests dropped were bad. This destructive explosion was definitely a super talent that was on par with destructive destruction. It was fine if it was not triggered, but once it was triggered, it would cause fatal damage. Host has opened the talent exclusive attribute treasure chest. You have received the system version 8.0 update key. The system version 8.0 can be updated. The required attribute value and subsequent functions are available. Please open the key to confirm. Host has received 4,010,000 rune energy points, 400 million advanced talent points, 470,000 intermediate strengthening points. Lin Chen had obtained the attribute values of the 4 demon venerables. All of them were terrifying. The system's new version. It's finally here. I wonder what new functions will be available in the new version. Lin Chen suppressed his surprise and entered all the attribute values. When he looked around, whether it was the human race, the demon race, or the dragon race, they were all shocked. They stared at Lin Chen as if they had seen a ghost. A transcendent demon venerable. In the history of the human race, there had never been such an abnormal battle record. This was the first time, and perhaps the last time. No matter how affected a demon venerable was, his battle awareness was incomparable to a transcendent demon venerable. No matter how many times he had condensed his acupoints, it was impossible for him to kill a demon venerable. All the experts racked their brains but could not think of a single possibility. What they didn't know was that in reality, Lin Chen's battle awareness wasn't much weaker than the demon lord's. All of this originated from his spirit awakening. The system gave Lin Chen an instant increase in the speed of his awakened spirit power. In a way, it was similar to the demon lord and the 9 revolution saint opening the holy acupoints in their brains. I've dropped enough attribute points. Let's take this opportunity to kill 2 more. After putting the bodies of the 4 demon venerables into the ultra-space-time bitwall, Lin Chen's eyes flashed fiercely, and he was about to aim at the other 2 demon venerables. Buzz! 2 strands of devilish might that came from different dimensions surged over like an indestructible will that suppressed the ages, and it intended to directly suppress Lin Chen. Demonic aura? Break! Lin Chen activated his heart sutra, and the Tai heaven concealing mantra circulated through his meridians. It was as if he had transformed into a heaven-piercing spear, tearing apart all the demonic might. No matter how strong the pressure was, it couldn't suppress him. What a mysterious human, and his disguise is almost perfect. Even his flesh and bones are completely that of a demon. If it wasn't for the saint power sealed in his heart, I wouldn't have been able to detect it. In the void, 2 exclamations reverberated. The human powerhouses were shocked and quickly retreated a large distance away from the boundary of the desolate demon and demon realms. Lin Chen narrowed his eyes. This demonic might is no small matter. It's far beyond any demon venerable. Sensing the arrival of 2 powerful wills, the demon venerables were ecstatic. It's the 2 lords. The 2 of them have finally come out of seclusion. It's finally time for this kid to die. As long as the human sage king doesn't appear, the 2 venerables are invincible. The demon race's morale was high. When Lin Chen's senses were awakened and eavesdropped, he immediately analyzed that they were 2 existences that were half a step away from becoming heavenly demon venerables. It seems that the 2 of them are comparable to 9 revolution saints. Lin Chen immediately recalled the Saint Dragon back into his body and quickly retreated to Lin Ping An's side. Kid, you can't escape. The indifferent voice was mixed with bone-chilling killing intent, and the terrifying killing intent swept through the sky. In all directions, the space collapsed and distorted violently into a vortex. On the horizon of the desolate demon and demon realms, 2 monstrous demonic shadows faintly appeared. Whether you can escape or not, it's up to this handsome guy. Lin Chen spread his 9 wings, swept across the void, and pulled Lin Ping in. Moreover, he withdrew all his avatars and laughed mockingly at the demon race. Thank you for the gifts and resources. This handsome guy has earned a lot. Next time we meet, I will definitely light a wave of paper money for you and burn incense for you. Young man, you're very arrogant. You're about to die, yet you're still so stubborn? Another demon race's will descended. It was actually another demon race almighty, a peak demon venerable figure. Lin Chen secretly activated the space-time dimension and immediately connected with the spiritual avatar in the 9 regions continent. He shrugged and laughed. Stubbornness is just a small part of me. There are many more parts of me that are more stubborn than that. It's a pity that you won't have the chance to find out today. Today you're trapped in the demon realm. How are you qualified to break out? Or are you a sage king? Stubborn. Let's kill this kid's physical body first. Endless demonic palms that covered the continent tore through the starry sky and pressed down on Lin Chen, not giving him any chance to escape. Whoosh! Rumble! The demonic palms left behind and tore apart a star, but it hit nothing. It hit nothing. The demons were stunned. When they looked around again, Lin Chen and his avatars were nowhere to be seen. The demons were all dumbfounded. The dragon race and the human race had already quietly retreated and escaped. However, what happened in the past few days would start from the firmament star field and set off an unprecedented storm among the various races. Moreover, it would definitely be recorded in the history of the three races and be passed down through the ages. Half a month later, the sacred boundary was the first to shake. Even the Saint Talent Board received the news at the same time. For the first time in the history of the human race, a heaven-defying genius had appeared and sneaked into the demon realm. Even in the demon realm, breaking through the meridian condensation realm was unparalleled. A single meridian condensation realm had reached 4,500 times. Fighting the demonic brilliance crown prince, the 36th crown prince of the demon realm with the cultivation of the condensation realm. Killing venerables with the cultivation of the condensation realm, and killing 4 venerables at that. Surrounded by many perfected realm demon venerables, he was extremely calm and even left calmly with a hint of mockery and ridicule. He simply entered and left the demon realm as if it was his backyard. Every matter was enough to shake a region in the history of the various races. However, all of them had been achieved by one person. However, no one knew who this ultimate genius was. The sacred boundary was once again filled with surging winds and clouds, and new waves and storms appeared. This storm, with the holy monarch domain and the divine flame palace as the center, had begun a magnificent era. Chapter 1526. While the sacred boundary was in turmoil, a certain handsome boy was comfortably staying in the mortal world, enjoying the wonderful life of an immortal. He would tease the fairies and play with his gun when he had nothing to do. 9 provinces, in a certain pavilion in Heavenly Song Academy. Fortunately, when I left a spiritual avatar in 9 provinces. It ran fast and was in a good world. Lin Chen rested his head on the beauty's lap and looked at the full curve above. He found that Yang Qing'er looked very good from this angle. The beauty gently caressed the young man's face. He seemed to have never changed like this. Yan Qianyun and Ning Qingxian, one on the left and one on the right, massaged his shoulders and legs. It could be said that they were extremely comfortable, better than living immortals. I suddenly feel that if I have this life every day, why do I have to fight and kill? I really want to have a good sleep and not have to think about anything. Lin Chen murmured a few words and actually fell asleep. The girls couldn't help but smile. They didn't disturb him and quietly stayed by his side. In the 2 months after returning to 9 provinces, Lin Chen had experienced many life and death battles in the devil realm. His spirit had completely fallen into a tense state. Since breaking through to the middle stage of the transformation realm, Lin Chen felt that his spirit realm had faintly touched a new bottleneck. If he could break through, his spirit would turn into a primordial spirit and step into a new realm. After ending the battle in the devil realm, Lin Chen stayed in 9 provinces for almost an entire month and a half, entering a state of cultivation and recuperation. It was almost like he went out to pick up girls in the day, barbecue in the afternoon, and hugged Sister Yu Qi to sleep at night. But the little demon empress and Jian Qingqing could see that Lin Chen was in the best state to brew his fighting spirit while relaxing. Once he exploded, it would be a moment that shook heaven and earth. The change came from the 70th day. Late at night, the stars flickered and the moonlight poured down. Under a tree, Lin Chen, who was leaning against an ancient tree and lazily eating barbecue, suddenly had a cold look in his eyes. Jian Qingqing and the little demon empress beside him were shocked. A message came. Lin Chen opened a worn-out wheel in his palm. This thing was given to him by Jiang Taishu and could transmit sound to thousands of realms. What happened? Jian Qingqing's bright red eyes flashed as she asked softly. There's a change in the Divine Flame Palace. The palace will choose a new palace master. The next palace master will be chosen in the Divine Flame God investiture ceremony in 4 months. Lin Chen narrowed his eyes. That was fast. He originally thought that the changes in the Divine Flame Palace would come a little later. In the 2 months since he returned to the 9 regions, 2 years had passed in the sacred boundary. 2 years to a saint was just a blink of an eye. But in these 2 years, Lin Chen's avatars were fighting for every second. His servants could be said to have recovered at a godly speed, and they had never stopped. First, he had manager Ing bribing him. Then, he had the secret support of the Pill Region's Elder Guild. With the addition of Lin Chen's avatar and the support of the 2 giant alchemists, the strength of Lin Chen's team could be said to be growing at an unprecedented speed. Lin Chen originally thought that the conflicts and changes in the Divine Flame Palace would take at least 10 years or even more before they could erupt. He never thought that this day would come so early. It seemed that the situation in the Divine Flame Palace was very complicated. At this time, the shabby jade light wheel actually flashed again. When Lin Chen received the message, his expression was even more interesting. The changes in the Divine Flame Palace are aggravated by external factors? Tian Ho and Demia have found out new information. It seems that there are more than 100 Saint Talents on the Saint Talent ranking secretly discussing some matters. Among them, they even received people from the Divine Flame Palace. When Jian Qingqing and the little demon Empress heard this, different degrees of shock appeared on their beautiful faces. What kind of concept was 100 Saint Talents on the Saint Talent ranking? This group of people, every single one of them were people who could shake the sacred boundary with a stomp of their feet. What were they secretly plotting at the same time? Haha, in short, the current sacred boundary looks calm, but in reality, the top forces are already divided and in turmoil. Lin Chen stood up. His entire body was filled with a saint aura that could sweep through 10,000 worlds. He chuckled lightly and looked calm. It's time to make a trip to the Divine Flame Palace and bring Sister Ruoyan back. Divine light flashed in his eyes. Lin Chen's battle intent soared to the heavens. This time, he would calculate everything clearly. When he went to the sacred boundary, those towering sects and ancient families were all like immortal mountains that blocked Lin Chen's path. Now, the entire sacred boundary was open for him to roam. Even the legendary Saint Talent ranking was no longer so unreachable. It was close at hand. Lin Chen, darling Lin. At this time, Leng Yueqi, Ning Qingxian and the other girls quickly flew over. Leng Yueqi said seriously, "You're going back?" Lin Chen nodded. "Yes, you haven't become saints yet. Stay in the 9 provinces continent at ease. With the pills I make, becoming saints is only a matter of time. You must be careful." Yang Qing'er suddenly plucked up her courage and held Lin Chen's hand. Her cheeks were flushed. "No matter what happens, don't risk your life. You only need to be the hero of the 9 provinces once. Don't go to the sacred boundary again." Lin Chen laughed mockingly and pretended to whistle. "With you all here, how could I bear to be a hero? I only like to be a handsome guy who is unrestrained to the end. When I'm bored, I can hang out with beauties and brag. How happy would that be? I'm leaving. I'll be back soon." Lin Chen took a step and flew into the air. He turned into a shooting star with the little demon Empress and the others and escaped into the void. The girls stared blankly in the direction he left and didn't leave for a long time. Inside the Heavenly Song Academy. In a pavilion, Shen Lianyun and Yun Tienge watched the shooting star flash by. Shen Lianyun looked at Yun Tienge and smiled. "You have a good student." "Yes, student Tienge. No, it should be the 9 provinces. It's our blessing to have such a student." Yun Tienge sighed. He didn't expect that he would be able to borrow another 100 generations of lifespan from the heavens. All of this was thanks to him, the most outstanding student in the history of the academy. Sacred boundary, Saint Monarch region. A sun-like shrine floated in the sky. It was as if it stood in the 9 heavens, like a legend that would never fall. At the highest point of the shrine, a beautiful woman in a red palace dress slammed the table angrily. Her saintly aura was like a huge wave that shook the entire divine flame palace. "What are you elders doing? Didn't I tell you to stop him for 100 years? You just let an outsider enter the divine flame palace and take control of the divine flame palace? How did you face your ancestors? Don't you feel ashamed to face your ancestors? Or are you saying that you don't even want your face anymore after living to this age? Are you going to be someone else's dog?" The beautiful woman in red scolded angrily. The 10 elders in the hall didn't change their expressions. They sat there like rocks that would never change. "Protector Shangguan, you don't understand. We are doing this for the future of the Divine Flame Palace. Giving it to Wu Pianju is the best choice. The upper echelons of the Divine Flame Palace wanted to give the power to Wu Pianju alone. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.